All right, we should be all set. Yes, we are. To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. No, go ahead. I just started. Andy. I'm good. Check it. Huh? Good.
So that square footage number is outrageous. So
what is the square footage? I'm sorry.
It's like 2,400 square feet.
Okay. Does that have a finished basement?
It has a basement. It's not like it has no like over the top. I mean, it was finished the way that the drawings that were submitted to the town. When I inquired with the town when I bought the property, the drawings that were submitted to the town was how the building was built, and everything was inspected. There was a CO for the entire structure. So, be that as it may, I paid what I paid for the home. I guess I'm questioning to why, if we were going to agree to a $350,000 assessment value 2 years ago, how we could possibly justify a 33%, 34% increase in 2 year period. That's what's kind of shocking me. When my wife, as I wrote here, when we bought this house, we were very cognizant of the amount that we could spend on a home, the type of home we could buy, and also along with it goes to taxes in this town, which everyone is pretty sensitive about, especially I am.
Have there been any improvements or anything on the home since you moved in?
No improvements since I moved in. No improvements.
Aaron, is this the townhome that is connected to another townhome? They have a wall they share, right?
That's correct.
And there's only 2 units right there, right?
There are only 2 units, correct.
And you get the view of Albany, and you can see it from Route 4, I think, right?
Absolutely. You can see it from Route 4, you can see it from I-90. That's what we're talking about. And, I mean, as I wrote in here, because I understood, I'm like, all right, these lots can be considered pretty high value. That's fine. They're 0.23 acres. The one next to me is assessed at, I wrote it in here, it's assessed at $20,000. So as far as the view and the actual lot, and there's multiple lots that have the same view as me right next to me. I mean, literally, I could touch them at $20,000. So I think that was kind of like my case in point. These have been out there. These lots exist. They're assessed at $20,700. So that's quite a bit to be assessing the structure of a townhouse. This is not a large home in East Greenbush. There's a lot of large homes in this town. This is not one of them. And no. I'm not going to go through case by case what I wrote down on here, A through H. But if you do take a look in, and especially H, the one at the bottom, assessed at $563,000, 9.8 acres, and that's a mansion. If you've ever driven up Thompson Hill, you know the house. It's a mansion. And we're talking about $100,000 assessed more than my house on a 0.23 acres and a quarter of the square footage. It's not adding up. And so I guess the biggest thing is outside, the part that really started to kind of aggravate me a little bit about this assessment was I looked at every single home on this street, and there were a couple that were sold. And I'm a real estate attorney. I know how it works. You guys get the RP 5217 of what someone buys a house for. Yeah, go right ahead and assess them at that value. I understand that. But my house didn't buy or sell over this last period. However, I am the only house on Thompson Hill that had an increase in market value. So I sat with the tax assessor and we came up with an assessed value 2 years ago. We came to an agreement on to be the only house on Thompson Hill Road to have an increase in value is I got to say, I feel singled out. I definitely feel singled out here because on paper I'm the only home that hasn't been sold or bought that had an increase in tax assessment value. And not only that, it's 34% increase.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of information here to go over. And we really don't get the chance to go through it as thoroughly as we need to. You know what I mean? Like when we're kind of meeting with you. And we definitely will, give it the time that it needs to look over it and make a determination based on what you gave us and all of that. Does anybody have any questions for Aaron or?
Aaron, is number 65 the one that is attached to you?
That is correct.
Okay. Their assessment is higher. A lot higher. It's assessed at $460,000.
Well, that's what mine is. That's what you guys are. That's what I've been reassessed at. I went from 350
gotcha.
to 460. Right. I bought my house for 342. So right. It's a hard one to swallow. I mean, I would still be here if someone took a look at the value of that house that was sold and the value of mine and came to an average, which seems the most logical. I would almost expect that. I'd still be here in front of you because I don't agree with that. But the move that was made is I guess to me is unexplainable at this point.
Did you say the other house was 65? Thompson?
Yeah.
65.
Yeah.
That's because they're connected, so it's the two of them together.
Yeah, just so we're very clear, these are two totally separate lots, totally different
Right. Right.
Okay.
Okay. Does anybody have any other questions for Aaron with regards to 67 Thompson Hill Road? No? Okay. Is it okay if we move on to the next one then, Aaron? You do have the vacant land, right?
I'd appreciate not having to sign out and sign back in, sure.
I don't think you have to because you're next in line here. So let me just get some housekeeping out of the way and then we'll start. So it's 17 how do we say that? Risedorf?
Risedorf. Anyway.
Risedorf Lane. Tax map number is 155.10-11-9. The assessed value appearing on the roll is $81,600, and the property owner's assessment is $35,000. Sorry. And okay, Aaron. So right now this is your time. I do know that you obviously submitted some paperwork to us. We kind of briefly going over it, but again, if there's anything you want to, touch on, highlight, or add new information, certainly now would be the time for that.
Excellent. Thank you for the opportunity. So 17 Risedorf, I was actually in front of the board last year, and there were some questions, I think, regarding the information I was provided as far as maps. So that's the reason I'm back this year. I tried providing maps without further expense of trying to get a survey, but most importantly, I know that the property is listed as being 7 or so odd acres.
Right.
It's a hill. And what I tried to provide was a map that showed topography and usable based on the constraint lands standard of the town of East Greenbush. I believe it's 15% grade. The overwhelming majority of this property is completely useless. There's no access to it, and it's woods and it's valleys. So for me, that was useful information as far as getting to a value of land. Because 7.8 acres of land that potentially could be subdivided or have multiple structures on it, I could see having a value of $81,000 plus. However, I've kind of done my calculations. I'm sitting at about 0.35 acres of usable property. I tried highlighting. I apologize for as messy as it was. I was against the time limit. But that's it, and so there's a value there. Again, like I know people would say, hey, it has a view of Albany, or it could. There's a lot of trees growing around. You could cut trees down and potentially get a view. Right now it's overgrown because there's nothing that's ever lived or been built on it in history. So again, there's access off of a new road that was built, Olcott Lane, new subdivision, but it's not improved. I have no water, sewer. There's no gas. There's nothing up on this land. It's vacant land, and it's highly constrained by topography. And that's where I'm kind of pleading, to the board is it's not 7 acres of usable property, nor is it subdividable. A lot of acreages and parcels out there that are of this acreage size are always looked at for investment purposes as far as subdividing them. That parcel was part of the original subdivision for that Olcott Lane subdivision. So it's not allowed to ever be subdivided again. And again,
and the map that you gave us, so that what you're saying is the yellow shaded is what you're saying is the usable area.
Correct.
Which is about how much?
I calculated at about 0.34 acres.
Okay.
And it's kidney shaped because it's the top of a hill. It's been kind of plateaued.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to get that clear so I can, just jot a couple of things down here. I don't know. All right. So the comparables that you gave us, I did see in here. And I know a lot of them are a lot less acreage than yours.
Right. They're definitely smaller. They're the other lots that are available, or at least weren't assessed with structures on them this year. Just give an idea. Hey, look, but those ones they're up against the road. There's water, sewer, gas hookups there. The other comparable ones, which I didn't have numbers on because they changed, were there 2 other larger lots on that parcel, part of that subdivision. They currently have structures on them, so they were assessed a lot higher, but they were down in in I think the 40s last year. I don't have off the top of my head, or I would have put them down as a benchmark. But again, those have a lot more usable property than my lot does.
Understandable. Does anybody have any questions for Aaron in regards to the vacant land here?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Aaron, what do you plan on doing with this land in the future? Are you just going to leave? Because I know there's a bunch of new houses going around it.
There are. I kind of was waiting to see, how the dust settled on that subdivision. I know there's a lot of attention there, and to see what was going on. It was always my intent of trying to build something up there. That started a long, long time ago, and here I am. And so, for the time being, I'm not looking to start any building on that within the next year or two. I have no plans. It's just, it was something that, I had this idea about years and years ago, building a house up there. So,
anyone else have any questions for Aaron?
I do.
Okay.
I was just wondering, Aaron, on that piece of property, if you decided to build, is it going to be feasible for you to bring utilities there?
it's feasible. It can happen. The expense is probably going to be tremendous. That's the reason that there aren't utilities there now. And if it was, so if there were water, sewer, gas, electric hookups up on top of that property, I wouldn't be asking for $35,000 because I know I could sell it as a building lot to someone, and that's what these other lots are. They're building lots to people, to a builder. Right now, a builder, he'd be speculating. He'd keep trying to think that he could subdivide it or something, or put a bunch of structures up on top of it. Who knows? But so it's right now. There's been some interest, but not really. They're like, it's going to cost me, $20,000-$30,000 to bring utilities up there or whatever. I don't do construction like that, so I don't know. But it's a long ways from that Olcott Road up. It's a skinny little path, and it's on a pretty serious grade. But, it's...
Does anyone else have any other questions for Aaron? No? Okay. So, Aaron, what we're going to do is, again, we're going to, go over all the information you gave us more thoroughly. And then we'll make a determination based on that and your testimony today, and we'll have that determination in the mail, I would believe, by July, Sue?
It has to be out before July. July 1st, the final roll is out. So,
okay. So
it usually takes you about 2 weeks.
Yeah, so by July 1st, it'll be in the mail, okay?
Yep. Thank you so much for your time tonight. I appreciate your service.
Sure thing. You have a good day.
Take care.
All
And
right.
who's next?
I believe it is Amy.
Oh, Amy.
Who is
He
here?
doesn't look like Amy.
It does not. Is Amy here?
Is it, yes, 327 Sunset?
Oh, there she is.
Is she in the meeting?
Yeah, she's here. She just called in, so you can't see her, but you can hear her.
Okay, that's fine. So, Amy?
Yes.
Hi. I'm just gonna have you just state your name for the record, if you would, please.
Yep, Amy Militello.
And do you solemnly swear the information you are about to give to this board of review is true to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Okay, so let me just get some housekeeping out of the way, and then we'll get started. The address in here is 327 Sunset Ave. Tax map number is 155.14-5-7. The assessed value appearing on the roll is $158,000, and the property owner's estimate is $130,000. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, Amy, so now is your time. If you have, any new information you want to bring to the board, or if you have some things you'd like to highlight on, certainly now is your chance. You have the floor, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Okay, so I have never been through one of these before, so I apologize if it's not in normal format. Basically, I'm pleading with the board to consider lowering my assessment of my house. I was considered for a TRIP grant to get this house, and we, crunched numbers. We made sure everything made sense at the time so that I could afford the house. I'm a single parent with a special needs child. So we just wanted to make sure that I could afford the house, and I did reach out to the town assessor, who I think is on the call. I did reach out. We talked. We're still not clear as to why my taxes raised so much. I've never owned a house before, so I didn't realize last year. I knew the taxes were going up because I got the notice, but I didn't realize there was a grievance date and how to proceed. So I followed up with my town hall for this year to make sure that I was able to get in front of you guys today.
Okay. Just to be clear, though, you purchased the house in 2017 for $158,000.
Yes,
Okay.
but
And
I guess
what you're assessed at right now.
Yes. But I guess when I bought the house, the taxes were lowered, and last year my taxes raised, and I don't know percentages or anything, but it was $175.
So we don't do like taxes. I mean, we're just basically, for your the assessment of your property, the value of your property. The taxes are kind of what comes next, and we don't change your taxes.
Right, but is it not true that I'm not taxed on the assessment of the property value?
Yes, we only do assessment value, not the tax value.
Right, the assessed
so
value,
when I bought the house,
which is $158,000, which is what you purchased it for in 2017.
Okay, so I just want to make sure I'm understanding. When I first bought the house, the assessment taxes were lower, and I guess I tried getting hold of the town hall to figure out why they were raised so drastically, which obviously is because I bought the house. But when the person before me bought the house, they bought it for the same price basically I did. So I don't know why the first year I bought the house, the assessment was so much lower. I had asked the town assessor, and she was in contact with me, and she was looking into it. I haven't heard back, but that's my fault as well because I didn't follow through because of the holiday yesterday. I forgot, and I didn't follow through on Friday like I should have before the meeting today to see what the answer was.
Sue, is there something that you were talking to her about as far as the tax?
Yes, I thought we had talked about comparables. I mean, I do realize that a lot of times people will pay whatever the people are asking for or get it reduced a little bit. It could be that the person that owned it formerly had a veteran's exemption or agent.
Yeah.
Obviously, they definitely would have a star exemption, which would have come off. And of course, she would have to now get a star exemption by calling tax and finance office in Albany because we don't do the basic stars anymore.
Right. Okay.
So I'm hoping she did that, but you won't see that as a decrease in her assessment. Excuse me. She'll receive a check instead from the state.
Mm-hmm.
I do know that she has listed some comparable sales with her report. I thought she did. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I did by hand. Sorry, guys.
I have it. Yeah, because there's a sheet right here. Oh. Sorry, I'm just running a lot of tabs all at once here. 1 second.
That's okay. I guess it was my buyer's mistake. Obviously, as a first-time home buyer, I didn't realize that I guess the taxes would change. And again, me and Sue had talked about why they had changed so drastically, and I reached out to the old owner, and they told me they didn't have anything extra on there. She provided me receipts of Star, and I forgot what the other one is. There's another one that you get throughout the year, but I qualified for both of those last year.
Okay.
So I had the same exact thing as what the owner, Elizabeth L., had told me she had. So I'm not sure why, again, in 2017 to 18, it jumped. And again, I didn't realize, I don't know if I just missed it in the mail. I don't know, but I did not realize that I had to do grievance last year. So I missed my opportunity last year when I should have saw it.
And I
Well,
just,
did you get?
I'm not sure why it raised so much.
Excuse me. Did you get caught up in the townwide reassessment, whatever that was? That changed taxes for a lot of people.
Changed assessments.
Sorry, changed the assessment. Yes.
That I'm not clear. I'm not sure.
She could have because she purchased it in July 20th of 2017.
Yeah. Right.
And we did the revals in 2018.
Yes.
Yep.
So she could have gotten caught up with that as far as like whether the sale was time adjusted or not.
Okay.
The purchase price is 158 or 157.
158.
158, please.
So if you were eligible for these exemptions, you said for the star and, you know, perhaps something else, you do have to like file for those every year, right, Sue?
You only file for the star once.
Oh, okay.
One time filing.
Okay.
If she's entitled to a veterans exemption, it's a one-time filing.
Okay.
I don't have that.
And that's by March 1st
Okay.
of every given year. Outside of that, I don't believe she would, unless she has a disability, she might be able to qualify under that if she has the SSI award letter.
Okay. I wasn't sure. I know there's certain ones that you have to do every year, and then
The SSI, anything that's based on income, you have to file every year.
okay. All right. But sorry, go ahead. We do have the list of the comparables that you have is probably about 5 of them I'm seeing in here.
That's fine. Page 6.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, I could have included more. I just
No,
on the paperwork it said 5 to 10 or something.
Yeah, I'm just going, just kind of, I'm just browsing through the information that you gave to us here.
Yep. Yeah.
Does
I believe
anybody
the
have any
highest I
other
saw was
questions?
about 140.
Does anybody have any other questions for Amy?
No.
No? Okay. So, Amy, what we're going to do is we are going to meet at another time, and we go over all the information that is given to us, and then we make a determination based on that and, you know, testimony and all the information that's provided. We'll then make a determination based on that, and then you'll have that in the mail it'll be out in the mail by July 1st, so you should receive it, you know, shortly thereafter.
Okay, thank you everybody for your time today. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. You have a good day.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Bye. Okay. Who do we have next? Is it Van Warmer?
Yes.
Okay. Is he here?
129 Hampton Avenue.
Yes.
Yeah, he's right in front of the lake there. Is he here? Do we know?
He is here. I'm just trying to unmute him.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hi. I don't know, it's my turn yet.
Oh, wait a minute. It's not. Oh, we had it, Paul. Try it again. There we go.
Paul?
Yes.
Hi. If you could just state your name for the record, please.
Yeah. Paul Van Warmer.
And do you solemnly swear the information you're about to give to the board is true to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Okay, sir. Just give me 1 second. We'll get started. The address here is 129 Hampton Avenue. Tax map number is 155.14-20-6. The assessed value appearing on the roll is $166,500, and you're requesting $134,000. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, Paul. So right now you have the floor. If you'd like to provide us with some new information or just certainly now would be the time. Floor is yours.
Well, for one thing, this stream that goes around my house, around the back and the side,
Okay.
as the town well knows, it's taken my land away, and it's all swamp back there, which was supposed to have been corrected this fall, last fall actually, which was never done. I'm supposed to cut the weeds down and dig the trench out back there so the water didn't flow over to my side. But I guess they got their directions mixed up or something, because they took all the weeds down at the other end of the lake and didn't do mine. That's one thing.
Okay.
So my land is not what I got on the map. I got 100 by 100, which I don't have anymore.
Okay. Right,
Right.
because of the water in the back.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Sandra, can I
Yes.
just ask Paul a question?
Yeah, absolutely. So,
Paul, did they actually go through and take your property by deed, or is this erosion? Is that
Erosion,
it's erosion that's happening? Okay.
correct.
And how long has that been going on?
For years.
But how many? How
Pardon?
many years? How many years?
How many years?
Oh, great. Probably 10 years or more.
Okay.
I've been, trying to get this done for years. Yeah, that's number one.
okay.
Now, where do you want to go from there?
Number 2.
Number 2.
I think that's the logical course, right? Was there something else you
I
wanted
have
to
a hard
point out to
time
us?
hearing, so I got
That's
my
okay.
mouthpiece over here.
Was there
All right.
something else you wanted to point out to us?
Yeah, the comparisons and the fact that it went up this year again.
Oh, yeah. 2 years ago, my taxes went up, my assessment went up to $28,500. Okay? I went to Grievance, but I didn't have some paperwork filled in, so they wouldn't acknowledge it. Okay?
Okay, right. I did see that in your file here.
Okay. So in the meantime, it goes up another $3,500 this year.
Okay.
So that, you can total that up, and that's all in 2 years.
Has there been any improvements or anything on the home, sir?
No,
Just the shed.
just I had a shed put in, and I got it
A shed.
down there.
Okay, all right. And when was the new shed put in?
2017.
2017.
17. Okay. Okay. Does your property have a basement? Yes?
Yes.
You do have a basement. Okay. Is that also finished?
No, it's a basement. It's got washer and dryer down there. Yeah.
Okay. So it's not a finished basement then?
It is finished.
Well,
Okay.
It's partially finished.
I guess partially finished. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Does anybody have any questions for Paul?
No. No questions here.
No? Is everybody all set? Okay. So, Paul, what we're going to do is we meet up again after this, and we go over all the information that you've provided to us. Along with your testimony, we use all of that to make a determination, and then we'll send that to you. It should be in the mail by July 1st, so you'll receive it shortly thereafter, okay?
Yeah. Okay. That's it. Huh?
That's it. We're trying to make it painless, right?
You can tell Sue she can't hide behind that mask.
What was that, Paul?
You can't hide behind that mask, Sue.
You can run and hide behind the mask, but I found it.
Okay, Paul. Well, thank you for coming in today.
Okay, thanks.
Have a good one.
You do the same. I guess you just click in.
All right.
Okay.
And
All right, that's that.
Andrew, John, Michael.
Oh,
Michael?
okay.
Michaela.
He's sleeping.
French fries in there.
Okay. Thank you.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Hi.
How you doing?
Could you just state your name for the record, please?
Andrew John Michaela.
And do you solemnly swear the information you are about to give to the board is true to the best of your knowledge?
I do.
Okay, just give me 1 second. Property here is 108 Maryland Avenue. Tax map number is 155.17-13-6. The assessed value appearing on the roll is $275,900, and the property owner's estimate is $180,000. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, so Andrew, now is your time if you want to, bring some new information to us or just highlight some information that you've already submitted. You have the floor here now, so it's your turn.
Okay. In talking to the assessor, Ellen, and I think of Patricia in the department, I comes to find out that you guys have me listed with a 4-bedroom home. Well, I have 3 pieces of documentation from the assessor's office, one from 9/26 of 2007, one from 8/17/2007, and the most recent one is dated. It's dated in it says this report last important data collected as of March of 2017, and I'm kind of baffled how you guys have me for a 4-bedroom when you've clearly sent me 3 pieces of documentation that states that I have a 3-bedroom.
Okay.
Andrew, I asked Patrice about that when she went back to do the addition that still
She never came back.
And
she didn't come back, ma'am. She was told she was unessential, so she did not show up at my house.
I don't mean last week. I mean before that. Let me see if she's got the date down here.
Because I sent you pictures of my house.
Well, anyway, you had the partial addition that you had put on and it wasn't completed.
Correct.
As of February. She didn't know how to code it, so she put it in as a 4th bedroom. If that's incorrect, that's no problem. We can remove that.
Yeah.
She was just guessing that it was a bedroom.
Okay, it's not. It's just basically my plans are with the building department. You're more than willing to take a look. But basically, it's probably going to be like a living room / computer room. If that, to be honest with you, I might even make it a game room. I honestly didn't have a particular purpose because of what I was doing was what was underneath it, which was my storage area, trying to keep the water out of it. So it was somebody's idea. Why don't you just make it into a room because I could never deal with the water. So as of February 24th, is only when I got this structural okay from Kevin and Tom. So from based on the pictures I sent you, you can see that I'm only just now, which is now what you're talking March, April, May, almost 3 months later, I'm starting to insulate it. Now, will it probably be finished? And I guess you'll get what they call a certificate of completion. Because I've already have a CO, so it's a certificate of completion for what Kevin said, probably by this time next year.
Okay.
But as of basically February 24th, it was only just past destruction. So it had no electricity, and it won't have any plumbing in it.
Okay, so basically it's not finished, and we kind of had it in as though it may have been finished, and it's not.
Well,
okay.
It's that, and also don't get me wrong, I'm a lazy person. Bottom line. So a lot of times when I was getting the increases, I just let it. It is what it is. It's going to be. So when I saw this big jump of 91,000, I started to take a look and see what some of the other assessments were around me, and there's a 2-family about 4 blocks away. That's a 2-family, 2-car garage, wooden in-ground pool on a bigger lot. That's at 190,000.
Right.
And
so
I've lived on this street all my life, except for 5 years. So I've been in most of these homes.
Right.
And some of the other ones that I've stated are at least 2 or 3 car garages, and they are the same but roughly sized lot. 0.2. One thing is one's 0.22, one's 0.21, but roughly about the same size. I mean, I'm not going to squabble over that. But I know the houses for square foot size are bigger than mine.
Okay, so what I think is it was just an issue with, we thought it was finished. It's not finished. You sent us a lot of pictures, a lot of information on that, as well as, some comparable properties on here. So we definitely, have some stuff to look at here as far as, information that you provided. I think that everything here is pretty clear. I don't really have any other additional questions. I don't know if anyone else does. Anybody else from the board have any questions?
Yes, the addition that's been attached. Does that have any closet space in it?
No. I have my upstairs. If you look at my plans, because they are at the building department, because I did it in 2005. Is my bedrooms are all upstairs. This is basically there is no plan to make it a bedroom. Just a large living room, or maybe a dining room.
So it obviously will just have to be kind of, reassessed when
It's completed.
when it's completed, right?
No, it's not completed, so
Well, I don't know exactly how you guys all work it, and what I mean by that is maybe, and this is a guess. This is obviously not necessarily something like this. Obviously, different than a new construction. If an addition, I don't know if, as you might say it's worth X, but if it's at this point of its construction, it's 30% of X.
Right, and I understand that. So, and that's what we're going to go back and look at, and reassess what it is as far as not being finished. So, we can probably come up with a correction on that. And I can't say really a number right off the top of my head. We'll go back and look at it, and definitely make a determination based on all the information that we have, and everything from there.
Well, I also think the assessment is before the addition was added. I think the assessment compared to some of the other properties I showed you or I mentioned, I think it's even high then. Because I don't have
and that's why I understand that, and that's why you did put in a few comparables in there for us to look at. Yep.
Right.
And we will definitely do that. Like I said, we meet at another time and we go over all the information much more thoroughly. We really don't have a lot of time obviously right now to give it the time it deserves. But hearing your testimony and seeing all the information that you provided, we will go over all of it together at another time. We'll make a determination, and then we'll have that right out in the mail to you by July 1st. So you should receive it shortly thereafter, sir.
Okay, so normally, if the number is not mine, you have to wait till the next grievance period. Is that correct? If the number you come up with, or the reassessment, we'll call
right.
it.
If you don't agree with it, there are steps that you can take from there. Yep.
Oh,
and you don't have to wait until next year. There are steps that you can take, and that should all be included in your in your determination that you get in the mail. Okay.
I've never done this before, so
yeah, no problem. So it'll be all explained to you, and of course, if you have questions, I'm sure that you can call the assessor's office, and someone could probably maybe steer you in the right direction, or maybe provide some information that might be helpful. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. You have a good day.
You too.
Thank you.
About your little analogy or example, 30% of X. That would be if your work was 30% completed. What do you perceive at this point is the
well, to be honest with you, sir, I kind of break it down into three, kind of based on how they inspect it. They inspect at structural. They'll inspect at insulation. They you have structural, you have electrical rough, you have insulation, you have final electrical. And then
I'm sorry.
I think what he's saying is what of those things do you have done? What percentage is it finished?
We don't have time, unfortunately, for a good discussion.
Okay, at the time of March 1st,
right?
A week before that, Kevin came in and did the structural. So there was no electrical, no nothing, just the structural.
Right, perfect. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a
All
good one.
You too. Bye-bye.
Okay. Do we have Servidon now? Yes?
He's here.
Servidon?
I'm on.
Hey, could you state your name for the record, please?
Anthony Servidon.
And do you solemnly swear the information you're about to give to this board is true to the best of your knowledge?
I do.
Okay, one second, sir. Property is 199 Michael Road, tax map number 166.5-7.32. Assessed value appearing on the roll is $488,000. Property owner's estimate is $440,500. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, sir. So now is your time. If you would like to highlight some information you've already provided to us, or if you'd like to bring something new to the table, now is your time. So you have the floor, okay?
Okay, thank you. I'm not going to bring anything new other than what you have in your packets. You know,
Okay.
I'm looking for consideration, obviously, for a lower tax assessment on my home based on the comparable that I provided. There's a difference, obviously, of nearly, $45,000, $5,000. So that's pretty good difference between the two homes that are nearly identical.
Okay. Have you done any improvements on the home?
I have not.
And when did you purchase this?
I was built in 2007.
Okay, so you've been in it since 2007.
2008.
Okay. All right. Sorry, just give me a second. I'm just looking through your information here. Does anybody have any questions while I'm scrolling through for Mr. Servidone?
Just looking through also.
Okay.
So is it correct that this was a favored sale between family members? Mr. Servidone?
No, not exactly. Just on the same property of a family member.
I'm sorry, what does that mean?
Can you repeat your question again, please?
Sure. Was this a purchase between you and a family member, or you and a disinterested buyer?
Yeah, no, it was not through a family member.
Anthony, you bought the land and then built the house, right?
That's correct.
Was the land from a family member, or the land was independent also?
It was not.
Not what? I'm sorry.
It was not from a family member.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is the storage building newer than the actual house? Is that a more recent construction?
There has not been. You said a storage building?
Yes. Is it, do you have a storage building on your lot?
There's a shed.
Right. Storage building, yeah.
And when was that erected?
That was put in 3 years ago, maybe. It's roughly 12 by 28.
What was that, Mr. Servidone? I didn't hear the last thing. Is
The
that
dimensions of that are roughly 12 by 28.
And how about the basement? Is that a finished basement?
It is not.
was that yes or no?
No,
He said it is not.
not finished.
How large is the property?
In terms of square footage,
Yes. No,
34.
acres. How many acres of land?
Just shy of 5.
Does anybody have any other questions?
No.
Comment? Anything?
Well, I know there's another new property right near his house for sale right now. What number is that one, Anthony?
I want to say it's 169.
Oh, do you mean his property or something near him?
Very close.
Pretty much right next door to him.
Oh, okay.
On the
One
right.
house in between.
I was just wondering what the price was on it.
That I don't know. I
Yeah.
want to say
What property was it?
maybe.
They're asking $378,000 for that one.
Alright.
So is there only one comparable that you're able to?
That's all I listed. Correct.
I don't think I have any additional questions unless anyone else does.
No.
Do we have anything else we'd like to ask Mr. Servidone?
Well, I guess in terms of the answer to your question, Mr. Servidone, then there might be other comparables you did not list. Are you aware of any others?
That's correct. There may be.
But you're not particularly aware of them or nothing.
Not offhand, no.
Okay.
I haven't researched
Fine.
it.
Thank you.
All right, so I think that we're all set then. So what we're going to do, sir, is we meet at another time and we go over all the information that you provided to us, along with your testimony today, and then we make a determination based on that. That will be in the mail by July 1st, so you should receive it shortly thereafter. Okay, sir?
Okay.
All right, you have a good one. Thank you.
Good luck.
Okay. Do we have our next one?
Yes, we do. We have Atal and Sherman.
Okay. Hello?
Hi.
Hi, can you state your name for the record, please?
Okay. Atal Ghani.
Okay, and do you solemnly swear the information you are about to give to this board is true to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, I do.
Okay, sir, give me 1 second. Property is 931 Ridge Road, tax map number 177.-2-2. Assessed value appearing on the roll is $399,000, and the property owner is requesting $323,000. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, sir. So if there's any information you would like to provide to us, anything new or anything you'd like to highlight, now is definitely the time. So you have the floor, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
So I think the assessment is too high. I bought the house in May 29th last year for $323,000 and $2,000 credit. Okay. So this house actually was listed 2018 September for $389,900. And
okay, and I'm sorry, just 1 second. You purchased it in May of last year?
Yes.
Okay, and for how much?
I purchased for $323,000.
323. Okay.
Yeah, and at $2,000 credit. So I don't know. You can say 325.
Right.
So this house was listed 2018 September for $389,000. It was on the market for 9 months, and price was reduced for 4 times. And the seller was not known to me. I don't know, not a family member or anything. So I mean, the price I paid, it is. I mean, if I compare with the assessment, it was too high. And 2017, the assessment was only $329,000, and 2018 assessment went high to $387,000, and this year $400,000. If I compare with my neighbor, actually, so on the same road, Ridge Road 896 house number. Their house is newer. It is built in 2011. That house is bigger. Bigger square footage is 3,283 square feet. And the land is actually more than ours. So they have almost 10 acres, and ours is 1.24 acres. So that house was sold in 2017 for $380,000, and this year assessment is $384,000.
Okay.
So I mean, if I compare with the price they sold and the assessment, that was kind of similar. Well, mine one is very high assessment.
All right. Does anyone have any questions?
Can I just ask, does he have a finished room over the garage?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
but
think
I didn't do it. It was I
there.
I
Yeah.
got it.
The year before, we didn't have it as finished, and I know Patrice was out there February 18th, 2020, and that's why you got the increase notice was because of the
No.
garage.
Nobody came here February 2020 because I'm here February 2020. Nobody came.
Well, all I can tell you is that I'm looking at a file with her handwriting on it.
No, because I
over the garage.
So I moved in last year, May 29. So, I mean, since then, nobody came here. And the square footage
I think what we're saying too is that the assessment did not include the finished room over the garage prior to the increase. So the increase is partly due to the finished room over the garage. We did not know that existed before.
Okay, so one question.
I'm just trying to explain why you're seeing an increase. Yeah.
Okay, so the thing is, how come the square footage was like that, 2,832 square footage, without the 725 square feet in that room? If you exclude that number, the square footage doesn't match.
So, what are you saying your square footage is?
So when I bought, the square footage, they put on the listing was 2,832 square. So that's
and is that outside measurement?
So the plan and the house plan they left for me. I was looking at that. The blueprint I'm talking about. So it matched. So without counting that 700 20 square feet on the top of the garage. Okay. That's, it doesn't match. If I subtract that 700.
I'm sorry, 1 second, sir. Does the room above the garage, is that counted in square footage or is that just finished area?
It's finished area.
No, it
would be included in the total square footage.
Yes. It was already included when I bought it. So it is not like this year you added, nothing like that.
Okay. So there, that may be some of, what the increase that you saw. Again, we have the information that you gave to us for us to, look over and kind of figure out and make decisions based on that. Is there anybody have any questions? No. Would anybody like to ask any questions, or do you think we're all set? Is there anything else you'd like to add, sir?
No.
Okay.
That's all.
So what we do is we meet at another time, and then we go over all the information that you gave to us, along with the testimony and all of that. We'll use all that information in making our determination, and then you'll have that in the mail by July 1st. So you should receive it shortly thereafter. Okay?
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay, you're very welcome. You have a good day.
Excuse me, just one clarification. You only give us one comparable, or is there two?
Oh, there is another one. Yes, I gave two. Yes. Okay. There is another one. If you want to hear.
It's in his.
We don't want it now.
Okay. So yeah, I gave two actually. Yes.
Okay.
I actually got a question. Is that a finished basement?
No, not finished.
Okay.
Okay then. Thank you.
All right. Okay, so now we are, yes? I believe Trifoletti is next.
Yep, I believe I have them on the line right here.
Okay.
Go ahead, Tri.
Hello?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, could you just state your name for the record, please?
Christina Trifoletti.
Okay, and do you solemnly swear the information you're about to give to this board is true to the best of your knowledge?
Yep.
Okay, just give me 1 second here. The address is 4 Placid Circle, tax map number 178.5-1-11, The assessed value appearing on the roll is $200,000. Property owner's estimate is $178,000. Okay, Christina. So you have the floor if you wanted to, provide any new information or just highlight something that you may have already provided to us. Now would be the time. Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
floor's
So
yours.
okay. So based on what I submitted to you guys, you said we needed to establish value, and I'm doing that with the evidence that when we bought this house, there were multiple offers, and ours was the highest at 178. We also had the professional appraisal done that came back with the same value. And when I did research the recent sales in the days you supplied from 7/1/15 to 6/30/2019, I found similar sized homes that were sold for the similar price as ours within those dates.
Okay.
Then when I did comparables, I found 4 houses. They're all larger than ours square footage wise, and their full market value tax assessment they're all less than ours. So ours is a smaller home and it's assessed for higher value. So we're asking that our tax assessment be dropped from $200,000 to $178 because all these things support that it should be less than what it is.
Is this a new build, a new home?
No, it was built in 1974.
Oh, okay. I'm
You
sorry.
bought it as a bank-owned property, right? I think
Yeah.
that's right.
It was a foreclosure, yeah.
All right.
Have you done any improvements to the house since you bought it?
No.
Painted.
We painted before we moved in.
Okay.
We fixed up the deck. It was a little bit broken.
No improvement, just original stuff.
Yeah.
All right. So how many other houses are right around you guys? Was there like 4 or 5 around? Right there?
In the circle, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, on our circle there's 4 with us.
Okay. Are any of those
there's 4.
included in your comparables?
No.
They're all much bigger.
No, but they're larger houses.
Okay.
No, and I submitted all of this last year. There's identical houses to ours here, like down on Horizon View and stuff, that were all assessed for, they were larger. The big red one, there's a big blue one. They're similar, raised ranches, but they were larger. So I went with things that were similar size.
Okay. All right. Does anybody seem to have any questions from the board? Anybody?
The comps that you provided, are they in the same area?
They have, let's see.
20 Corellis Avenue, 21 Oregon Ave. And you got 152 Elliott Road.
I'm actually having
Are
trouble
you asking-
placing. Yeah.
Are you asking me or some
Yes,
for the lady?
that's you.
Oh, I didn't look at the map. I mean, I just flipped through there's a parcel search I did online on one of the town websites, and I put in my thing, and then I searched for
Corellis is off
recent
different.
sales.
They're in different areas.
Recent sales and comparable.
Yeah, they look all different areas than where you live in.
Right. We have Corliss Ave, Horizon View, Fairview.
67 Berkshire Drive and 152 Elliott.
Yeah.
Move them over across Street from Price Chopper and that development there.
Right.
Berkshire Drive is close. Isn't that in Albany Country Estates?
Berkshire, yes.
Yeah, that's close.
Fairview Terrace as well, I believe, is nearby. That's for sale.
Okay. And we also have is there an appraisal in here? Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yep, I attached that from when
Yep.
we purchased it.
Okay. Does anybody have any additional questions?
Yes, was the appraisal done for refinancing or something like that?
No, we had to have it appraised when we bought it.
Oh,
It was done when we purchased it.
okay.
Which was December, right? 2018?
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. Okay, I am all set unless anyone else has any other questions or comments, concerns. No? Okay, so Christina, what we're going to do is we meet at another time and we go over all the information that you provided to us along with testimony, and we make a determination based on that. And then we will have that in the mail to you by July 1st, so you should receive it shortly thereafter, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, you're all set then. You have a good day.
Thank you.
Sure. Okay. We have Gustavo?
Yep, he's here. Oh, wait a minute.
I don't even see that file in my email. Does anybody know what date that was sent?
May 19th.
Okay. Hi, could you state your name for the record for me?
Gustavo Samuel Almeida.
And do you solemnly swear that the information you are about to give to this board is true to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Address is 2. How do we say that?
I still don't know, but I think it's Chinquapin.
Okay, so 2 Chinquapin Avenue, tax map number 166.16-10-5. Assessed value appearing on the roll is $295,000, and the property owner's estimate is $260,000. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, sir. So you have the floor here. If there's anything, new information you'd like to provide to us, or perhaps just highlight something that you've already handed in, now's the time to do so. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I'm happy to highlight some of the information that I've sent over. I know I've sent a list of comparable homes which are similar in lot size, that are also a lot newer, and they have a lot less price per square foot than mine. I'm currently in a 50-year-old home. We purchased this home not even a year ago, and we haven't made any improvements.
How much did you purchase the home for?
$334,900.
$334,900.
And when was that purchase?
June 2019. And really the information speaks for itself. The Excel sheet that I submitted, which breaks down the price per square foot, when I'm comparing it to homes either right next to mine or just a block or two down.
Okay, 1 second. All right, so did I hear you correctly? You purchased it for $334,900.
That's correct.
In June of 2019.
That's correct.
And now it's assessed at $295.
That's correct.
Okay. I don't know. I don't think I have all the paperwork in front of me just yet. I'm trying to sift through some emails here, but I'm actually wondering why that is. Why is there such a difference?
It's a big difference because before he purchased it, a brand new kitchen, master bath, a new bath upstairs, and a shed was added.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he was probably aware of those. Well, probably when he looked at the house, those improvements were all done.
Within the last year, those improvements were submitted?
Am I supposed to listen to the people's case?
Excuse me?
The improvements that you're talking about, you said that they were submitted within the last year?
I said prior to you purchasing the home.
Understood. Well, I'm more than happy to share photos. The shed looks like it's a 30-year-old shed. The kitchen, yes, it was updated a bit, but I certainly don't see the value to kind of match the comparable homes that I've attached. But I love the home that I'm in. I purchased it for a reason, but at the same time, I would ask for a fair assessment of it.
Okay.
Very nice looking.
Thanks. Like I said, I'm just trying to be fair. And I've done a lot of research. I've looked at a lot of these homes, and like they blow my kitchen out of the water, and they're paying a lot less per square footage than I am. They have a nicer curb appeal. They have they're pretty similar in lot size and square footage, but if you want to consider the curb appeal, that's
This is a 5-bedroom, 2-bath.
That's correct.
Hey Gus, I just want to share something with you. I live in your neighborhood around the corner from you, and I know it very, very well. I used to live at 5 Chinklepin.
Very nice. It's a great block.
Yes. Your house is the highest sale in Albany Country Estate to date.
Yeah. And
yeah, I'm wondering why the purchase price was so much larger than.
I don't know why. Maybe I was a rookie at this, but it's.
Okay. Did you pay the asking price?
Yes.
You didn't negotiate it down or anything?
No.
You just fell in love with it.
No. Just love at first sight. Okay, so do we have any additional questions for Gustavo? Anyone in the board? Or Sue? Okay. So what we're going to do is we will meet again as a board. We'll go over all the information that you provided to us. It obviously needs a little more time for us to look through everything and make a determination. We'll use all the information you provided, testimony and everything, and then we'll send that determination out in the mail by July 1st. So you should receive it, shortly thereafter. Okay, sir?
Okay, thank you so much. Thanks for everyone's time. Have a great day.
Absolutely. You have a good one. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Okay. Who do we have next?
Patricia Riley.
All right, she might be one of these two phone numbers.
Okay.
I believe she's this one. Go ahead.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, is this Patricia Riley?
Yes, it is. You have to excuse me. I've never done anything like this before. I still have a flip phone.
Oh, no problem at all. Just
Okay.
give me 1 second. So, could you just state your name for the record for us?
My name is Patricia Riley.
Okay, and do you solemnly swear the information you are about to give to this board is true to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Okay, so give me 1 second. We are at 31 Jefferson Ave. Tax map number is 166.15-2-3. And Sue, I don't seem to have an assessed value or request.
What do you mean?
What I sent in wasn't for assessment.
Oh, okay.
I spoke to Ellen, who was extremely helpful. I drove her crazy. I called so many times.
Okay.
What I needed was I spoke to an attorney, Charles Assini, and explained what my issue was, and he said the best thing I could do for right now with this virus thing going on is get an affidavit from my husband, because you include his income, and he doesn't live here, and I get no support of any kind from him. and I haven't in years. So until I could go forward with getting a separation, divorce, whatever it is I have to do within the next year, I got Charles drew up an affidavit and then had it signed, and he notarized it. He took care of the whole thing for me because I'm housebound. And then my daughter helped with the forms, and we sent them in.
Okay. So is this for an exemption?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I get I think my daughter figured it up. I think I get like $10,400 a year to live on.
I'm not sure if we can at this point can do that. I believe that our hands are tied on that.
Well, I last year I got a 30% reduction, and this year I got a 5%. And when I spoke to Ellen, she said that's when I'd have to fill out the grievance forms.
Okay. Right, but it's for an exemption. So there is, like, I believe there's deadlines for those things. If I'm
did
correct.
Exactly as I was told when I called to find out everything that I had to do.
Okay. So, Sue, I guess forgive me for maybe not understanding. Isn't that something that is kind of time sensitive, or
she filed
time sensitive?
You know, she made
sorry.
a deadline. That wasn't really the problem.
Okay.
She had got a reduced percentage on her age exemption because she sent us her husband's Social Security income, and that mailing address was 31 Jefferson Avenue.
Mm-hmm. That's because when I called Social Security, that's why I asked them to send it, or else I wouldn't have gotten one. My husband does not help me with any which way that he can. He tries to make life as difficult as possible, so I try to keep. My daughter actually takes care of most of the stuff because I'm in and out of the hospital so much. She was supposed to be here to help with this, but she got tied up at work. And that when she requested the Social Security, then she had them sent here.
Okay, so what you're saying is you don't want your husband's income to be a part of it, but it was sent in with the paperwork?
Yeah.
That's because you requested it, and then my sister brought everything in and explained to whoever took it that he doesn't live here and that's not included with it, and they said it was supposed to be sent in, so that's what we did.
Okay.
But it's at the same address that she resides at.
So his address is the same.
His address is
at his son's
His address is 8 Hudson Ave in the Manor.
Okay.
He actually bounces around from kid to kid and his brother.
All right. So I guess I'm unsure at this point what we're capable of doing, Sue.
I just don't see how I could possibly pay that with what I have coming in.
The only thing I can do at this particular time is just run it through the town attorney.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. What did you say?
We can only run it through the town attorney for his opinion.
Okay.
The thing that makes it look bad is
who is the town attorney?
Dave Greenbush.
His name is David
Greenbush.
Thank you.
I don't know anything anyway. I don't know why I even asked that. I have no idea.
Yeah. Okay. You know, the bad part of
One second. Go ahead, Sue.
The bad part is that the address is the same as hers. I wouldn't think that Social Security would just put her address on it. There must be some record that's where he gets his mail or something. I don't know.
He didn't change his address, obviously, then.
But that's up to him
Right,
to do.
exactly.
Right. Okay, so that is up to him to change that address, which is why it was added in, because that's where it's saying that he resides.
Correct.
Because he hasn't made
Yeah,
a
but
change of
I
address,
think-
whether with DMV or, you know, what have you.
Right. But then you also have to note that the law says, clearly states, it's the income of husband and wife. Because they're not separated, legally, he's still supposed to, you know,
Okay.
include his income unless there's like a contract. And I know that Charlie Assini notarized a sheet of paper for her.
Mm-hmm.
And I certainly do not want to penalize her. That isn't what this is about. This is just to straighten it out between now and for the future.
Right. Okay.
Right. That's Ellen said. Ellen suggested that. She said she couldn't tell me how to do anything. Excuse me, but
Andy.
for future reference, and that's what I talked to Mr. Assini about, to take care of that over the next year. That his suggestion was to get this affidavit, and the only reason he got it signed is because my husband was in the hospital with a broken leg, and he had to go to one of the kids' houses, and the kids said that he had to sign that, or you'd have no place to go. Not the easiest person to deal with.
Okay, so I guess what we can do on our side is, I guess perhaps go over the information that was provided to us a little more thoroughly. Perhaps reach out to the town attorney to possibly get an opinion on this. You know, where we stand and what, you know, what steps can be taken. So we normally meet at another time to do so. It's, you know, there's a lot of detail going into this, so it's too much for us to make decisions right now.
I understand that
What
completely.
we do is, we meet as a board at another time, and we make a determination based on all the information that's provided to us. We will have that determination in the mail to you by July 1st, okay?
Okay, and
You should receive
promise
it.
over the next year, I'll make sure I get that all the legal papers done that need.
Yeah, you definitely want to make sure he gets that change of address, I think, would be first. And then, you know, just try to get some stuff in order, just to make sure that, you know, things like this don't slip out of your hands. Okay?
I've been in and out of the hospital 7 times.
No, I understand that. I think, you know, if we can get daughters and, you know, children or friends and neighbors,
I know.
You know, people at the town, I'm sure we can call, and, you know, somebody could help you out with that.
My daughter usually
stay on
helps
top
me
of those
with
things
everything.
sometimes, you know, is better than
Right.
to try and play catch up here. But again, like I said, we're going to take all that information, and, you know, we will see what we can do.
Thank you.
And we can have that out for you, okay?
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're
Stay
welcome. You have a
healthy.
good night. Okay.
Yep.
Bye-bye. Before we start the next one, can I just have 1 minute?
Sure.
Does anybody know what date the email is for this next one? Because I can't seem to find a lot of these. Like, was it sent to us on the date that's next to it?
I think it came on the 24th.
Okay, it just, I'm having like a hard time going through and trying to find each one every time.
Yeah, see, I thought it would be easier for us to deal with it if we filed them according to the appointment time. That's why we did it that way.
What, were they emailed to us by appointment time? Is that what you're saying?
No. No, not necessarily. And some of the emails I would have done like maybe 2 or 3 properties under one email.
Right, I know, and that's what I'm kind of having trouble, like going through my emails and pulling up their grievances. So I apologize. I don't mean to hold anyone up. So
No, I'm sorry if you're having a hard time. I didn't really know how to make it easy.
No, I know. We're all learning too. This is a new thing here.
The other hard part is some of them are upside down, so you can't.
Well, I have to tell you, because they stapled so much information to them, when I went to scan them, they would get stuck in my machine. So I had to turn them upside down Make them go through the scan.
So you said the 24th, Barbara?
Yeah, if you look at if you Google the or search the.
Oh, that's right. Duh. Why haven't I been doing that?
If you search the what?
The name.
Search the name on your email; it'll pop up. Or you look at
I turned them upside down to make sure that you were all alert and you would notice it.
Your email less 45 or 4535. It'll come right up.
4535.
Cassandra, I just emailed it to you for the one coming up now.
Oh, perfect. Wow, you're on top of things.
I'm trying.
Okay, we can bring them. I'm sorry,
take your time.
I kept having a hard time, finding them and trying to go through everything. Okay, Richard and Rita McLean?
Yep.
No. Who do we have?
Yep, yes, that's them. I just need to get them
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, what?
unmuted.
Okay. Hi.
Hang on.
Oh.
We're coming. There we go.
Hello?
Okay, hello?
Hello?
Hi, could you just state your names for the record, please?
Rita McLean and Richard McLean.
Okay, and do you solemnly swear the information you are about to give to this board is true to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Okay, just give me 1 second here. We are at 23 St. Clair Avenue, tax map number 155.13-8-42. Okay, so...
It's a new build, this house.
Right, 1 sec. So are we looking for reduction? What did we...
Yes.
Okay, and what are we assessed at right now?
207.
We're assessed at 207,000, and you're asking for 180,000.
Right.
Okay. All right, sir. So you two, you have the floor. If there's information you want to provide to us, or just some things you want to highlight, with that you've provided to us already.
Right. Well, there's an easement on the property, also from the town of East Greenbush, right? That's correct. And also, I didn't put it down, but the house next door is assessed at 209, but it's a 3-bedroom, 3-bath house. And a finished basement. This house that we built does not have a finished basement. It's 2 bedrooms and a bath and a half. Also, we didn't get the certificate of occupancy for this property until April of this year. So the house was assessed when they were putting the siding on the house.
Okay.
Right, there wasn't even water at the property or sewer or anything hooked up when they did the assessment on the property. I just think it's for the square footage of the house, the assessment's pretty high.
Okay.
And also the house next to us, which I think I wrote something. I mean, the property, they never mow their backyard. I have pictures, but I didn't send them. It's as high as their fence. There's a garage at the end of the road that's falling down. There's kind of a daycare next to it. We live 2 houses up, and we built this house for my son. And the house in between us has no lawns ever mowed in the back of the house. It's unbelievable. I sent in, Bellevue Builders built the frame of the house. I sent in the estimate on all the materials.
Yes, we have that.
And then we finished the house ourselves.
Okay.
I mean, our house here that we live in here is a 4-bedroom house and 2 bathrooms, and we're assessed at 164, and we got a bigger lot.
All right. Does anybody have questions from the board?
I'm sorry, what did you say about assessed at 164?
I said the house we live in. We live in the house at 27 St. Clair.
Yes.
We have 4 bedrooms and 2 full baths, a bigger lot, and our house is assessed at 164.9.
What's the living area of your house?
How many square feet?
We fought our taxes a couple years ago to bring ours down. We did fight that.
Yes, but what's the square footage of the house?
Our house probably about what, 22? 21, 22 square foot on our house.
And the one that you're feeling right now, what
It's
is that?
1450.
It's only, it looks big from the front of the house, but it's a tiny inside. Because the way
When we built the house, we had to get a variance, and then they said, "Oh no, we didn't have to get a variance because we moved it." And the town of East Greenbush has a 15-foot easement coming off the side of the house.
Yes, there's the drainage line going down through the back corner of the whole property.
Is that 100-year floodplain thing?
That's correct.
Okay.
Does anybody have any additional questions?
No. Is there any comps provided with this?
Any what?
No, we didn't have any comps. Just the I didn't know if I needed like a brand new build, and I didn't. So I couldn't find anything. Just the houses on the street themselves. The one next door that was built about 6, maybe 8 years ago, and that's assessed at 209. But again, it's 3-bedroom, 3-bath, finished basement. And then the house at the end of the street is actually on the market right now, sale pending. That's a 3-bedroom, and that's assessed at 17. That's on the market for 179.9.
Yes. So you are actually providing for us some good information for us, but in effect, you're telling us about the comps, and that's what we'd like to see. Maybe 3, 4, 5 of them, plus in a written form.
Okay. Can I still submit them, or is that too late?
Right.
I mean, at this point, I think
we just got our certificate of occupancy on April 6th for the house. He just moved into the house probably less than a month ago.
Okay. I mean, I think at this point it may still be too late to bring things in or to hand in new information. But definitely, we do have what you've given to us, and we have the testimony that you've provided. And we, that's what we do. So what we're going to do is meet at another time. The board gets together, and then we make determinations based on all the information provided, testimony, and we make a decision based on that.
And not that I have complained to the town about, the yard next door to us that's in between us, that the people never mow their lawn. It's up to their chain link fence. I mean, and a garage at the end of the street with no roof on it falling down. It's not like I haven't contacted, people.
I understand that.
Sends the building inspectors.
Yes. With that, you'd have to put in a formal complaint to the building department.
I have done that. I have.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, like I said, we'll take all the information that you've given to us, and we'll make a determination based on that. That'll be in the mail to you by July 1st, so you should receive it shortly thereafter. Okay.
Okay, and I understand that if it doesn't go down, I can take it to a small claims court.
Absolutely. So there is steps that you can take if you're not pleased with the outcome. There are certainly steps that you can take that further. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. You guys have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
How do I get out of this, Jimmy?
I gotcha.
I tried it, but I couldn't.
Okay. Who do we have now? I still can't. I tried the whole searching thing, Bob, and it's not working.
Yeah, I took all the documents, put them into a file on the computer, so I have no easy access.
Oh,
Right now.
you're awesome. Look at you.
Bob's not saying a word. Bob must be the new kid on the block. I never saw him before.
Hi, Tracy.
Hi.
Who do we have next?
We have Roseanne Longo,
Roseanne Longo. Okay.
One Capitol Place.
And I believe she's on now.
Roseanne?
Yes.
Hi, could you state your name for the record, please?
Yes, Roseanne Longo.
And do you solemnly swear the information you are about to give to this board is true to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Okay. Just give me 1 second here. We are at 1 Capitol Place. Tax map number is 144.14-1-19. Let's see. I'm sorry?
Right.
Okay. I'm just trying to find this. What are we assessed at? Sorry.
I wasn't disputing the assessment of the house.
Okay.
I sent in a note with it. Do you have that there?
I'm trying to find it, but
yes,
absolutely,
okay.
you can go ahead.
Okay. I put the application in for the partial tax exemption for senior citizens, because both my parents are in their 80s, and because they changed the federal tax return a couple of years ago, just to show their itemized deductions. But they had last year they had in excess of $9,000 in medical. So the woman at the office there said I can bring stuff in the copy, but then your office was closed because of COVID-19. And so what I submitted to you, they said you have to submit this application or this the RP524. So that's why I did that, and I sent copies of just two of the bills as examples, which would lower their income lower than the $37,400 for 2019.
Okay.
So I didn't have any advice if that would be sufficient or not, but that was what I did without knowing.
Okay, I believe with those though those applications are time sensitive, if I understand correctly.
Well, I submitted the application timely, but then I couldn't come back because then the office closed. The lady said to come back after you file the return in to bring the documentation to make copies, and that's why I couldn't do it.
Okay,
it's not because I didn't have, because I don't
go ahead,
have
Barbara,
it.
sorry.
I think the issue was that the income exceeded the exemption allowance.
Right.
That's correct.
So it looked as though that
timing.
Okay, so it wasn't timing. Sorry about that. It was just that the income was more than what the cutoff is.
Right, but that didn't reflect their medical.
And how so I guess I'm possibly a little confused.
The 1040 doesn't reflect their medical bills for 2019 because they changed the form a couple of years ago where you could itemize, but since they changed the deduction, I was going to supply this separately because of the way they changed the return, like I did last year, for which they did get approval for the
okay.
tax
So you have the medical
year.
bills, and you provided all the medical bills then, I assume?
I sent you 2 medical bills because I have like a huge bag of medical bills.
Okay.
But just 2, one is sufficient, but I sent examples of 2 which lower the 2 alone lower their maximum income to below $37,400.
Okay.
Hoping that would be sufficient because of the situation. I take care of my parents. Me and my brother take care of my parents at their house full time, and that's I was able to get. They don't have a copy machine here, but I was able to get to a copy machine to make a couple of copies of a couple of the bills.
So are you saying the problem was you weren't able to get the information to us because of
the office was closed?
Yeah,
we had a Dropbox outside.
Yeah, there's also a Dropbox outside. There's
I didn't know that till I got this letter. I didn't know that till I got this letter.
Oh, okay. When did you get the letter?
The letter I got May 26th. April 26th, I got the letter. That's when I called. And then they said you have to wait till May 1st. So I waited till May 1st. And on May 1st, I called to get the application. My parents don't have the internet or printer here.
And at that point,
our
they
letter,
could have. Go ahead, Sue.
Our letter was dated April 22nd.
Yeah, it's dated April 22nd, but I got it on April 26th, so it's reasonable. It came through the mail.
I'm just asking what the date was. I told her what the date was.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I have it right in front of me.
Okay, so then when you received that, there was obviously instructions on what you should do from there?
I called the number on here.
Mm-hmm.
I called, and then I was told, I called Susan's number, and then I was told I have to wait till May 1st to get the RP 524.
Okay.
So I called on May 1st to get the application, and then I submitted, I completed it as best I knew how, and I sent copies. My dad signed it, I signed it. I sent copies of a couple of the bills, which, like I said, lowers their income, hoping that would be sufficient evidence for you to consider them for the partial exemption for the senior citizens that they normally get.
Okay. So I guess what we have is that their income does exceed that, and I'm not.
Yes, that's why I submitted but normally you take into consideration their medical bills. Are you not doing that now?
I'm not sure. Sue, could you possibly clear this up so that I can understand?
Because I spoke with Sue. I left a message and she called me back, and I did what she told me to do, but I don't know if I needed to submit more evidence. I mean, I figured that was enough because it lowers them below that amount, the 37.4. I didn't have any other instruction.
You didn't have any other instruction? No? Okay.
To go on, I submitted it I filled out what I thought was appropriate and submitted that as proof that it's less than the 37.4.
Okay. So is it possible you can clear this up for me?
I'll try.
Okay.
She timely filed the 467, which is the application for partial tax exemption of aged person.
Okay.
When we computed the income and any expenses at that time, her income exceeded the 37,400.
Okay.
In April, we sent her out a letter.
Hold on, ma'am. Hold on one second. Go ahead, Sue.
Okay.
In April, we sent her out a letter telling her that we couldn't grant the exemption because her income exceeded the 37,400.
Okay.
So she called up the office and she said that, she was doing this for her mother and that she could find some bills that were out-of-pocket expenses that would bring that income down. And I said to her, the only thing that she could do at this point of time is file a grievance to see whether the board would accept that or not.
Okay. All right.
That's where we are.
Okay. I'm sorry. So, all right. So I guess I feel a little bit better. Like I understand. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm like scrolling through the emails and I'm just trying to keep all my thoughts straight. So I do apologize for that. Yeah. So we do have the information that you sent to us. So at this point, it is, what we need to do as a board is kind of meet up together and go over everything that was given to us, and then make a decision from there, based on everything that you provided and testimony here today. We make a determination, and then we will get that right out to you by July 1st. So you usually would receive that shortly thereafter.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Does anybody else have
and
any
who-
other
and who-
questions? What's that?
And who are you?
My name's Cassandra Malloy.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Did you have any other questions or comments, ma'am?
No, I mean, I guess can somebody tell me if I filled out the form correctly? I mean, if I filled out everything that you needed, did you need any additional information?
At this point, I don't see that you do. But again, I don't, we need to give it a little bit more concentration and a little more time to really look through everything more thoroughly. We can't make any decisions in haste, so we don't want to do it without really looking through everything.
Okay.
Okay?
There's not enough time.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, we only have a few minutes, so it's not enough time for us to make determinations.
Oh yeah, no, I know. I've been holding here for a long time.
I know. Well, you kind of see how it is now, right? Where it's like, everybody's
Yeah, I never did. This is the
people are
first time
sharing
for me.
information, so it does
Yeah,
sometimes
I thought that was my time slot, 4 o'clock. So I didn't realize it was everybody's. But
yeah,
thank
it just,
you.
like I said,
appreciate
some
your-
people ask more questions. Some people have more information they want to share with us. So sometimes
Yeah, no,
it
I
does
just
go
didn't know how it
over.
worked.
Yeah, and so I do apologize if you were waiting. That's, this is all new to us
Well,
too.
yeah, I
So,
mean,
just bear with us here. Sorry about that.
Oh no, I just didn't know what to expect. So do you have it? If you have no other questions, I guess we're good.
Nope, we are all set. So like I said, we'll get that out to you in the mail, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank
Have a good
you
day.
for your time.
Sure thing. Okay. Next. Anybody? Who do we got?
Dugal?
It looks like Dugai.
Dugal?
Yep.
Hello?
Hi.
Hi, could you state your name for the record, please?
Sure. My name is Shivy Dougal. I'm here representing my mother, Rita Dougal.
Okay. And do you solemnly swear the information you are about to give to this board is true to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Okay, just give me 1 second. We are at 1 Lakeview Avenue, tax map number 155.9-2-32. The assessed value appearing on the roll is $273,000, and the property owner's estimate is $175,000. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so now is the time where you can, highlight information you've provided, or perhaps, offer up new information. You have the floor now, okay?
Thank you.
Sure.
So I provided this grievance because, my mom and I did, because we've had the house on sale after the assessment was done and such, sometime after the assessment was done. And it hasn't sold at all. Actually, we had to drop the price down to $185. And as per my real estate agents, I had to go through 3 of them because they didn't believe that house should be sold at that high amount to begin with. I started at $249, and everybody that
when did you first put it out on the market? I'm sorry.
It was, so I signed a contract in November of 2018.
Okay.
But it was like the month or two from I believe, when I'm checking my emails, and I'm sorry if something was misunderstood here.
No, you're fine.
From recent checking of my emails, they didn't actually get the house up and going and listed and everything till February of 2018.
Okay.
So if you could please correct that, so it's like 2 or 4 months perhaps that I overestimated, and I apologize for that. But it's still
so it would be February 2019.
Yes.
Okay. So and what did you put it up for?
$249.
Okay.
$249. To be exact, $249. And then I switched over. That was with Coldwell Banker. and that didn't sell. Kept dropping the price. That switched over to Jason Young, and I'm sorry, I couldn't find the contract, but I found the withdrawal agreement because I decided to go back to the person that actually sold the house to help me out. Like sold the house.
What do you have it on the market for now?
185. There's a cistern on the property also, which is sort of a drawback for a lot of buyers. And I wasn't aware of it. Like my family wasn't aware of it when we purchased the house. And we found out after we bought the house when we were trying to spruce it up because my father was handicapped. We were trying to make sure it was accessible for him at that time.
Okay.
What was on the house?
A cistern is underneath the house.
Oh, okay.
So we had to put in 2 sump pumps to ensure that it wouldn't leak. And time to time, it does leak. It floods in there. So it costs more for us to fix it.
Okay.
That's the start. But
Is
the
there
house,
anybody living in the house right now?
yes,
Is it
there are
rental?
2 renters in there.
Okay. So you're saying it's a 2-family house?
Correct.
Okay.
So
And what I think I talked to you about that Ginny O'Brien was working with you on?
Yes.
Alrighty.
I think she spoke to Miss McCarthy about the assessment and such, or I know she was going back and forth with the town to try and find out how much the house is worth and how much should we list it when originally we had started.
Okay.
Spoke to you. And we switched to Jason Young, and then now we're with Karen Relation.
Okay.
can I chime in for a minute?
Absolutely.
I wonder if, for some reason, this house was assessed. Could they have seen it as a commercial property, and that's why it had such a high assessment? Do you think?
This house?
Yeah. Was it always a 2-family residential type thing? Because
let me see.
I have to agree with the owner. This place is way oversessed.
Well, I have to agree with her too at this point of time. Because I think we still have it coded as a 1-family. I'm not sure. I'd have to go into the system. I can get that ready for you and fax it to the members tomorrow morning.
Right. Okay.
Or,
I know there's a commercial property right next door to it, a business of some sort. So
yeah,
I'm just
this is only one building. It's not the commercial piece. Isn't included in this property at all.
Right.
It was originally a 1-family, and then we converted it to 2-family.
Okay.
Has that been legally?
Yes, I do have a 2-family.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I have the certificate of occupancy. I believe that was from 2017, I believe.
Would be. But I think what happened is when we had the revalve in 2018 is probably when it went up.
Right.
And you didn't file a grievance in 2018.
No, I didn't think because I wanted to get rid of the property. It's too far. My mom became disabled, and we just...
Yeah, I think that's what it was, Christine. It was the revalve year.
Okay.
I know a huge reason why this house is not selling is because the taxes are really high.
Yes.
Yeah.
Indefinitely. That is what I've been told.
Okay. Does anybody have any other questions?
Yes. What are the income? What's the monthly income per apartment?
Okay, so the top one currently, I just rented it out in February for $1,600, and the bottom unit is rented out for $950, and that's with. So we pay for the water,
right,
and sewage. So that's why we increased it $50 extra for both units.
So $1,600 upstairs,
and $950 on the bottom. Correct.
Any other questions? Okay. So what we're going to do is meet as a board after today, and we'll go over all the information that you've given to us, all the information provided and the testimony, and we'll use all of that in making our determination. Okay, and that should be in the mail to you by July 1st, so you should receive it shortly thereafter.
Would you be sending it at the mailing address, or would you be sending
it? It would be your mailing address.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. You have a good day.
Thank you too. Safe day.
Okay. And next, Michael Young. Do we have him next?
Yes, he's here.
Yep.
Just give me 1 sec.
Okay.
There we go.
Hello?
Hello,
Hi, could you state your name for the record, please?
Michael Young.
Hi, and do you solemnly swear the information you're about to give to this board is true to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Okay. Address is 13 State Street, tax map number 155.9-11-7. The assessed value appearing on the roll is $166,000, and property owner's estimate is $135,445. Correct?
Correct.
Okay. So now you have the floor. If you wanted to add any information or just highlight some things that you've already provided, this is your time.
The basis of my information is the house next door sold for that exact amount. And on my street, there are 3 houses that are exactly the same. They were built by a family back in, I want to say, the 40s. The one next door is the exact same lot as mine, and it's the exact same square footage.
Okay.
I also purchased my house in 2014 for $133,000, which shows that the value in this neighborhood really hasn't gone up over the last 6 years.
Okay.
I'm sorry, what did you say the selling price of the house next door is?
$135,445.
It's what he's requesting.
Correct.
The same amount.
Okay.
Yeah. Is your basement finished? Do you have a finished basement?
No.
I'm sorry, what?
No, I don't.
No, okay.
No. Too much water gets in the basement.
Okay.
I see. Did you have 14 State Street in your comparables?
No, I had 15 State Street.
Okay, 14 State Street sold for $163,000 in July of 2019.
Yes, it's a different style and a different size house. The one that 15 State Street is the exact house as mine. As is 17.
So the best comparable for your house is number 15?
Absolutely, it is. I mean, I want to believe. I believe it was the Gullo family built all 3 houses back in the 40s. It was a family that lived in all 3.
Alrighty. Okay. Does anybody have any other additional questions? Anyone? No? Okay. Mr. Young, what we do is meet again as a board. Obviously, to go over all the information that's provided to us. We give it a little more time, go over everything more thoroughly, and then we make a determination based on that. We should have that out in the mail by July 1st, so you would receive it shortly thereafter. Okay?
Very good.
All right. So you're all set. Thank you.
Right. Thank you.
Have a good one.
You too.
Okay, before we bring in the next one, does anybody know what date her grievance was sent? Kristen.
Madeline.
May 20, 2020 was a stamped in.
May 20? Well,
The email came on the 21st
the email. Okay, thank you.
from Ellen.
All right. Barb, nice going. Oh, we had a ton.
What are you doing?
Okay.
Steve? What are you doing?
You can bring you can bring them out. I'm all set. I'm ready.
That was the people on State Street, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
Do we have Art? Hello?
Kristen's here.
Hi.
Yep.
Hi, could you state your name for the record, please?
Sure, Kristen Hart.
And do you solemnly swear the information you are about to give is true to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, they do.
Okay. Just give me 1 second here. We are at 247 Waters Road. Tax map number is 167.-5-15.115. Assessed value appearing on the roll is $525,000, and property owner's estimate is $475,000. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, so you have the floor. If there's any new information you'd like to give to us or anything you'd like to highlight that you've already provided, now is the time.
I tried to get you guys comparables, and when I pulled it up, it said that there was no comparables. So I wasn't exactly sure of what to send you since it said no comparables. I mean, I did find houses that were colonial houses. That my house is considered a colonial. But again, it said that my house wasn't comparable to any, so that's why I did not send you guys anything. I had emailed Sue to see why the assessment went up, and she explained to me it was because I put a small addition on my barn. It's a garage.
Okay.
I did get a building permit for it. I did have a contractor build it.
Okay.
The assessment went up $50,000, which it cost about half of that to build it. So I'm not sure why it goes up $50 when it didn't cost $50 to build.
They gave me extra.
So I guess that is. I guess that's why my assessed value went up.
How big was the addition?
To be honest, I don't have that in front of me.
Okay.
The building department has it.
Right, okay.
How about 25 by 28?
Okay, is that it?
That's what the permit was taken out for.
Then that's the builder built.
Thank you, Sue.
Okay.
So we couldn't find any comparables or anything in your neighborhood or?
I mean, I have stuff on my in the neighborhood. Like I said, I went on the Rensselaer County site, and when I punched it up, it says there are no comparables. I think it's because there's property with my house.
Right. There's about 74, right?
I have 11 acres.
Oh wait, I have the wrong one. No, do I?
Yep, 11.2 acres.
Oh, 11.2. Okay. I think I have something else then.
Yeah, 11 acres. I have a small farm.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what that is. So again, there's houses. I can tell you what houses are on my road, but they don't have the acreage. So I'm assuming that's what screwed up. I mean, if you look at, you can look at houses in Huntswood that are larger than mine by square footage. They have more bedrooms.
Mm-hmm.
Those houses, some of them are assessed at 450, 430. To be honest, they have water and sewer. We don't have water and sewer up here. A lot of the houses on Waters Road are the closest one that I could find on Waters was one that had, it was 1,000 square feet less than mine, but that was assessed at 340. And that has 3 acres.
Is there an apartment in your?
I do not have an apartment, and I'm confused about why when I got.
Did you take the apartment out of there? Did you remove?
I've never had an apartment down there. I'm confused because back in 2018, when you guys did the reassessment, I went through and I remember grieving that or going to that thing at the library and explaining to the guy that part of my basement is finished. I finished part of it. The kids are down there. So part of it is finished, and he asked me about the percentage, and I said it's probably half of the downstairs is finished. So I was confused because I don't think my house used to have where it says property class. Now my house is one family resident with apartment. And I don't think that used to be like that. Or maybe you could tell me. Can you tell me when that changed or how that changed?
It changed this year.
It changed this year?
Yes, it changed this year because when we were going through the file, there was an indication on it that there was an apartment down in the finished basement. I mean, that doesn't have any extra value to your house. It's just a classification. So
right, but
that changed back through 10, that's no problem, but it doesn't change the increase for the addition to the barn that you put on.
Right.
Right.
They're
But
two
how does
separate
it get reclassified? Because like I said, in 2018, the gentleman that I was speaking to, I did tell him that part of the basement had sheetrock and was finished.
So when you say your basement is finished, Kristen, what is it used as? Can you tell us that?
The kids are down there. There's a couch down there. There's a TV. They have friends down there. It gets rid of all the toys and all the
bedrooms, no bathrooms.
There's no bathroom. And then again, how does, like when I got that building down below, you know, when I had it built and I paid for it, and I know what it cost me because I had to pay the contractor to build it, does that add that much value to the barn?
Yes. Well, it did, because the way that we figure it out is by the cost approach. And as I tried to explain in my email to you, we have a state program. So in other words, anybody that builds the same type of structure as you did would get the same cost per unit when we're doing the calculations and the same percentages of depreciation and things like that. It doesn't go on your cost. We have to use a separate program that's uniform used across the town.
So you're saying if I built a garage on my house and finished it or whatever, it would be assessed the same as.
It depends on the size.
But so it's assessed the same as because all this structure does is store the tractors and stuff and horse feed and all that stuff. So that's assessed the same as somebody's attached to a garage.
No. It's assessed at whatever you took the permit out. What was the permit listed for? A barn?
I think $20,000.
No, I don't mean the cost of construction. I mean, what did you put down on your building permit as far as what the structure was called?
I do not have the building permit in front of me, the papers.
Okay. That would be different if it was a barn versus a garage. They're all different as far as the unit cost. This is what I was trying to get at.
Right. Okay. So that's possibly something that we could look at, the permit that was taken out?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Does anybody have any additional questions for Kristen?
No.
Okay. So what we're going to do then, Kristen, is we go over all the information that you provided to us. We will, try and take a look at that permit too, and maybe see if that's, something in there that might.
My notes just say addition. It doesn't say pole barn, dairy barn.
Right. So we'll look into that. Like I said, we'll take all the information that you provided to us, and make a determination based on that.
Okay, perfect. And then I had one question. I don't know if you guys know that.
Go ahead.
When you if it's a farm building, can you get them exempted? Because I looked at the RP 483 and I didn't fill it out for this year, which I probably should have, which I will. But is that something like if I fill that out, does that get my assessment lowered because it would be exempt because it's used for the farm?
If it's an agricultural, horticultural building, it can be exempt for a 10-year period. But you have to have, like we have discussed before, a commercial ongoing horse farm that has a minimum of 7 horses year-round on the property.
Okay.
Do you meet that qualification?
We already went through this, Sue. We don't have to have the horses there year-round because they go to Florida for the winter.
No, that's not true.
Well, it is true. they don't have to be there year round because these horses go to Florida and then they come in and they're back and forth. So every year I give you all the paperwork. I have my ag exemption.
I know.
It just doesn't work in the winter for 4 months. But I can fill this out and we'll go through it again.
As far as the horse farm that you're saying, does that have a name to it? Do you go
Yes,
by
it
a certain
does.
name?
Yes, it does.
There isn't anything outside, so that's why I'm asking. There's no signage outside that I can.
There's no sign out front, but it has a legal name. It runs as a legal farm.
And can I have that name?
Whisper Willows LLC.
Okay.
All right. Any additional questions, anybody? No? Okay. So like I said, we will look into all this information, Kristen, and we'll have that out to you by July 1st, okay? So you should have it shortly thereafter.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
All right. And who's next? Donald Anders?
Yep.
I wonder how far behind I am.
Oh, this is Don. Again, am I up?
Hi, could you state your name for the record, please?
Don Anderson.
Okay. And do you solemnly swear the information you are about to give to this board is true to the best of your knowledge?
I do.
Okay. We are at 16 Risedorf Lane, tax map number 155.10-11-22. The assessed value is $458,300, and property owner's estimate is $405,000. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So now is your time. Anything you'd like to share with us, new information or highlighting information that was already provided, certainly now is your time to do so.
So I'm representing Greg and Gail Dawkins on this property. They are the property owners.
Okay.
The target parcel itself is a brand new Hadarowski built home. It's a ranch, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Its inventory is listed at 2422 square feet. However, the property owner has provided schematics that show that it's at 2192 square feet.
That may be because we do outside measurements.
Correct.
Perhaps.
Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know.
That's
why.
just how we.
Yeah, that's our
we do
standard.
we do standard outside measurement.
Understood.
Okay.
So with that, at 2422 square feet, the property is at $174.81 a square foot land subtract. The assessed value, as you stated, was $458,300, and we're offering 5 comparables. Of particular note, the first 2 comps, 15 Oriole Lane, is also a Hadarowski built home, built in 2019 as well. This is a 2,550 square foot ranch. It has an additional 600 square feet of finished basement on the inventory. It's assessed at $427,800, and subtracting the land value, which has $105,100, leaves a residential structure value of $322,700, or $116.95 a square foot, versus the again at 2192, $193.16 a square foot.
This is a new. I'm sorry, just real quick. This is a new build, right?
Correct.
Did it? Okay.
Yep. So what we're looking at is, at a minimum, the 15 Oriole Lane house has 360 additional square footage. It's 2 acres versus 0.35 acres, and that's reflected in the land valuation, but also the finished basement that's included in the inventory. And there are other improvements on the property as well. That's line item down in the comparative analysis that I'll get to shortly. The second comp is 39 Oriole Lane, and these properties are one street behind Reisdorf Lane, which is Reisdorf is the new community there, new neighborhood. 39 Oriole Lane has not been sold. That is a 2018 built ranch by Hodorowski as well. That one is 2,910 square feet with 1,550 finished square feet of basement. It also has an additional full bath over the target parcel. The land subtracted market value per square foot on the assessment is $102.23. So you can see the vast differential between the market value per square foot based on the assessment, considering the target parcel is the smallest of the three parcels, all built by Hodorowski, all built within a year. Shows either an egregious underassessment of those properties or an overassessment of our property. In addition to those, there are three additional comps that were provided. Of course, ranches are relatively rare now as far as new homes being built, so there are very limited items, comparables on the roll. However, the third comparable is 376 Hayes Road. That is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath on 3.45 acres. Is a 1,957 square foot, built in 2018. That sold for $329, and that's assessed at $325, and that works out to be a land subtracted $119.06 a square foot. The fourth comparable is 17 Hallenbeck Hill. That's a 2,946 square foot ranch built in 2016.
Yeah, I definitely have all these comparables for sure. One second though. There's a lot of information that's provided, so I'm trying to kind of just run through it here. Oh, there we go.
You guys hear me?
Yes.
I think part of the difficulty here, it sounds like Don is trying to make the case based on price per square foot, which I understand. Right. Does that sound right, Don?
Yes.
I think the hard part about this is the fact that they paid $458, right?
Right.
Yep.
So that means it was appraised for $458, and Sue can clarify this. Sue, we base our information on full market value, right? So
our REIT rate is 100%.
Right.
RAR is 100%.
So so in essence, if they had paid $405,000, it probably would be assessed at $405,000. I understand your argument about the price per square foot, but like when we get somebody who comes along and they're fighting your assessment and they bring us an appraisal, I'm always like, you know what, an appraisal is like, the best thing ever. If you're buying a new home, you have an appraisal. But in this case, it's kind of hard to say, yeah, it's $405 when they paid $458.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that point. However, everybody's entitled to pay whatever it is that they're paying for. One sale does not set the market. And what I'm showing here, especially with those first two comps, which are both Hodorowski built homes, both built in 2018, 2019, both of them are substantially larger than our parcel. Both have inventory, and I haven't gotten to the inventory analysis that's further down in my package. Shows it even more egregiously unequally assessed relative to those parcels. At any home at this point at $174 a square foot or $193 a square foot, you would have to apply that same level of assessment to these other properties that are built by the same builder, of the same quality and materials. And that's really fundamentally what we're showing. The sales prices are showing that, and especially in new built homes, the manipulation that occurs on some of these others, like the 39 Oriole Lane, has no sale. which means that the assessment's based on that inventory. And to say that that property, which is 2,900 square feet, is assessed at 414,000, which is 718 square feet bigger, has a 1,550 square foot finished basement, which has at $40 a square foot, $62,000 in valuation, and it has an additional that.
Excuse me, Dawn. We understand the numbers and we appreciate what it's coming through, but you have to put yourself in our position. We look at this market value cost, and we have to get our heads around the fact that that is the price the way it is when you wouldn't expect that, and it's hard to run against that. I'm all over saying.
Oh, I absolutely understand. I absolutely.
All right, give us a chance to look it all over and see what we can do.
Right. Well, that's what I was going to say. I mean, there's a lot of information here that I'm kind of, scrolling through while you're speaking. What we normally do is meet as a board after this, and we go over everything that you've given to us, obviously more thoroughly, and then we make a determination based on everything that's given to us. So I don't know whether I have any additional questions based on what's given to me.
Well, if I may, I would like to point out if you look at the package, obviously as a board, particularly page 7, which is the comparable improvement analysis, which shows the inventory and the improvements on each of those parcels relative to our parcel, and provides adjustments based on those inventory differentials, and it shows the vast and quite frankly, I think the manipulation that occurs in new built homes in order to set the value, which would translate into a more favorable assessment for other properties, and I think that's exemplified here in this situation for this property.
Okay, and we appreciate information, like that as well. So it's, all of this is definitely helpful, when we go back and we go through everything. Like I said, I don't have any additional questions. I'm not sure if anyone else from the board does.
No.
No? Okay. All right. So again, then that's what we will do. We're going to take everything that was given to us, testimony, all the information that was provided here. We will meet and make a determination based on that, and then you'll have it in the mail by July 1st, so you should receive it shortly thereafter.
Great. Thank you.
Okay? All right. You have a good one. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for your careful consideration.
Thank you.
All right. Laraco? Is that who's next?
Yes. Anthony Lindo Rolacco.
Hi. You there? Why all of a sudden can't I?
Can you?
He's coming. Yes.
Can you hear us?
Yep. There we go.
Okay.
Okay. So we have. Could you state your name for the record, please?
Linda Laraco.
Okay. And do you solemnly swear the information you are about to give is true to the best of your knowledge?
I do.
Okay, so give me 1 second here. We are at 860 Luther Road, tax map number 156.-3-43. Assessed value appearing on the roll is $155,800, and property owner's estimate is $135,000. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so you have the floor now. If there's any new information you would like to give or anything you would like to highlight that you've already provided, certainly now is your time.
Well, first and foremost, it's a 2-bedroom, not a 3-bedroom. I talked to Sue. I didn't realize that you had to have a closet to make it a bedroom. So it's actually a 2-bedroom, not a 3. I sent you information. Both properties next door are in foreclosure, have been in foreclosure. One sold for $15,000. The other one is down to $50,000.
Right, those are foreclosure sales, correct?
Yes, the one sold for $15,000. The other one is still on the market for $50,000.
But they're
right. Foreclosures are a little bit different, though, as far as comparable sales.
I do understand that, but it also brings my property value down. Okay, they've been vacant now for one 4 years, the other one probably 10 or 12. The third issue I have is the house sits on 0.65. You have the property on 0.65 acres assessed for $60,000.
You mean
I don't
for
think
the land value?
Yes,
Okay,
when you break it out separately.
right.
I don't know also if it makes a difference. That house is an all concrete block. That is not a stick built.
Are you speaking of your house?
Yeah, the 860 Luther Road.
Okay.
Okay, and in the past 3 years, you guys have gone from 115 to 135. Now you want to go to 155.8, which I think is more than excessive.
Did you
no way it went up.
Have you grieved the past couple of years as well?
I did grieve last year.
Okay.
When you did the full assessment.
2008.
And now you want to go up another 20,800.
And did we have comparables in your paperwork here?
I did not.
No. Okay.
Based on the issues of the house, well, I gave you the comparables of the foreclosures next door, but every place around me is 250 to 300,000. They're all newer builds. There is no real comparable on 0.65. Because I think it's a minimum of an acre now to build past the high school or more. It could even be 3 acres.
I'm not sure what the zoning is in that area. Let me see the zone.
I think it's different
I think it's 90,000 square feet she has to build on.
Yeah, that property's grandfathered in, so
Yeah.
look at that.
Right, but I'm saying anything new.
That's correct.
So I can't see 0.65 being worth $60,000.
Yeah, like I said, it's grandfathered in, so we can't look at the acreage for building a new house.
Okay.
All right.
And the other issue is to get to the commercial attached property, you need to run through the yard. Because it used to be a junkyard. The commercial property used to be a junkyard. And in order to get to that, you have to go up the driveway to the residential to get to the commercial. Which is on a totally separate tax ID.
Right.
So those are my issues.
And can you clarify that statement again for me? The driveway going up to what
The
was
house.
formerly the junkyard is the same driveway that you go to the residential piece of property?
Yes.
So if you were to sell that piece, the residential piece separately, what would you do? Give like an easement or a right of way to get into the junkyard?
Probably from those two houses that are in foreclosure. I'd have to, whoever bought that property over there eventually, I'd have to see if I could access it. Or I did buy property. I got another 4 acres in the very back that borders Michael's group back there. I might be able to get in that way.
Okay, I was just wondering. It's unusual. Okay.
Well, back in the day,
Yeah.
my father had the business.
Yeah.
We lived there. We ate there. That's the way it was.
I don't have any additional questions. Does anyone else?
No.
No? Okay. Okay, so what we're going to do is go over everything that you've provided to us, all the paperwork and testimony, and then we'll make a determination based on that. You'll have that in the mail by July 1st, so you should receive it shortly thereafter, okay?
Okay, the only other question I would have is when, after that July date, do you go to Rensselaer County if you would disagree with what you...
With your findings.
final
So,
decision?
right. So I believe that would be in the paperwork that is sent to you. So I don't know exactly of the date, but I know that it is provided to you in the paperwork that we send with the determination.
Yes, they have to file 30 days after July 1st.
Okay, there you go.
For small claims.
Right. And you should receive it, like I said, they have to be out by July 1st, so you should receive it, shortly thereafter.
Okay, yeah, I just think, 3 hits in the last 3 years is a little too much.
Right, understandable.
Okay.
All right, you're all set. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night now.
Good night.
Good night.
Turn all off of there.
Do we have another one?
Tracy Pulver at 1 Hall Street.
Are you on mute?
Oh, there we go. Okay, thank you, Tracy. Sorry about that.
That's
Could
okay.
you just state your name again for the record?
Sure, it's Tracy Pulver.
And do you solemnly swear the information you are about to give is true to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Okay, give me 1 second here. We have
Sure.
1 Hall Street, tax map number 166.16-9-10. Assessed value is $182,000. Property owner's estimate is $129,168. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And I'm going to have Linda Larocco speak on my behalf, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, you guys all think this is funny, huh?
Hi again.
Hi. I didn't go far.
Okay.
My cell phone went in the pool today, so it doesn't work.
All right. So we have 1 Hall Street.
Yes.
Okay.
I sold to Tracy and Lester Pulver December 10th, 2019.
Okay. 4.
All right. 140 even.
140.
The question I would have is, I thought there was a percentage under what you paid when they figured out these tax calculations. Am I wrong?
No.
No, I'm wrong, or no, I'm right?
I don't understand what you mean. What do you mean a percentage?
Well, like, let's say the house is 180 for sake of argument. That's what you paid for it. I thought there was a percentage, let's say 5%, that's what your tax value would be.
No, it's full market value.
We're at,
Okay.
yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Depending on
This house is also a 2-bedroom, not a 3-bedroom.
Is it classified? Is it said that it's a 3-bedroom?
Yes. All the time I owned it, it was a 3-bedroom when I bought it from my ex-husband. So I never changed it. I did fight the taxes on it last year. They brought it down to 180. She had the bank appraisal, which came in at the 129, 138, I think it is. But she ended up paying 140. Okay, I sent you copies of the building inspection, which if I would have sent you all 78 pages, you'd be there all day.
Okay.
The biggest issue with this house is that there's no cellar, no foundation. Really. It's built on
It's, what is it, on a slab?
No, it's on shale.
Oh.
So they kind of just added on like pillars.
What, Bob?
So the building's built on shale. The foundation set
Yeah.
on as solid rock.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's typical.
Well, it's not typical in this neighborhood to have no basement. That was an issue when I tried to sell it back in, I don't know, must have been, well, they were here 11 years. So before that, I tried to sell it, and that was the biggest complaint I got. No basement, no sale.
Did we have comparables in with this property as well?
I did not, because I sent you the bank appraisal and the building inspection.
You said,
and they just bought the house in December. I did not give them any kind of deal. These were all independent, assessment through the bank, building inspection. She hired somebody.
But they paid $140 for it.
Yes.
Okay.
You've got me assessed at 182. And I fought that last year. You want to go like 185 or 187 last year?
Did you sell the house?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
December 10th, 2019.
Right.
and the bank assessment, that's bank appraisal, it's a full appraisal that was sent in?
Yes.
Couple pages?
Yes, and that came in at like 129, 168, I believe.
Okay, and that's what they're asking it to be reduced to, correct?
No, I would take that, but I'm sure I'd like that even better than the 140 they paid.
Right. Well, that's what I have down here is that we're requesting it to be reduced to 129,168.
Right, because that's what the bank assessment came in at.
Okay.
But they paid 140.
Right. But
Right,
they're
I
at
have that.
129,168.
Right.
Okay.
All right.
All right. I don't have any other further questions. Does anyone else?
No questions.
Okay. So again, what we're going to do is go over all the information that you gave to us, and then we will make a determination based on that. You'll have it in the mail by July 1st, so again, they will receive it shortly thereafter.
They thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Enjoy your night.
You too.
Okay. Who's next?
Todd and Noel. Barassi Jones.
Oh, yeah.
Barassi Jones.
Oh, no, it says no next to it. What does that mean?
What? Where?
When it says no in the highlighted column?
Instead of a time, it says no.
Yeah.
Oh, she must have
No appointment.
canceled.
Okay, because there's a lot of no's on here.
Mm-hmm.
I believe the next one we have is commercial. 5:30 commercial. Imani, McConville, Accardi, and Powis. I assume that's you, Rodney?
Yeah, hi.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Can I just have a second? Because I can't access the commercial agenda, like the list. I don't have that.
Tab. Grab the next tab. It's commercial agenda.
We sent it to everybody. You didn't get that?
I don't
Next
have that.
tab over.
Oh, hold on. Let me.
It was a 5:30 appointment time.
I think I know what happened.
It was sent in.
I don't either.
Yeah, I don't have it.
It stops at Tara Mitchell. Mine does.
It's on the second tab.
There's two tabs in the bottom.
Right.
The first tab is residential. Second tab is commercial.
Correct.
Mine is sheet one.
It's the top one on the commercial sheet.
I don't have a commercial sheet, is what I'm saying.
Yes, they do. It says.
I think so.
There are two
You
worksheets.
can tell me where it is. Certainly.
No, but I know that Ellen sent them out
Yeah.
Yes, there's
this
actually
afternoon. I don't know what time.
There are two worksheets on that Excel spreadsheet. If you look at the tabs on at the bottom, there's one for residential, there's one for commercial.
it was sent at 3:11 p.m.
I just emailed it to you, Cassandra.
Yeah, it keeps saying failed to open. I'm sorry. If someone else would like to read him in, that's totally fine. I don't have it in front of me, so I don't want to make everyone wait.
Who's the person that's out there?
Hi, it's Rodney Powell for Middle Mannix Properties, or Mannix Properties LLC.
And do you solemnly swear that the testimony you are about to give is true and best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Could you please say your name for the record?
Rodney Powers,
Property address 4 Middle Mannix Road, tax map 155-4-3.
Yes.
Full assessment 1,390,400, and the amount 405.
Yes. Are you ready?
Yes. Floor is yours.
Thank you. So, Sue, I had to put this in as a placeholder, and I got the paperwork from Dan today. So if in fact the town intends to honor the number in that and it gets approved, then this will be for naught. That's what I don't understand. I don't have an answer to. It will be reduced for 2019 if the town board approves it to 650. As you know, this property's been vacant for quite some time. For 2019, it had no income. It had a significant loss. For 2018, it had some income. And then it's being refit at the end of 19 and to have tenants for 20. So I went with the same value as we submitted for last year's tax challenge. And it had less income in 19 than it had in 18.
Do we know? Do we know when the date for a resolution from our town board? Have you heard anything about that?
No. I like I said, I got a letter from Dan today that says to be approved shortly, and he reduced it to 650 for 19, and then it goes forward to a couple of years for 20, 21, and 22.
Yeah. Okay, so I think for the purposes of the grievance, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that it's good that you filed because you'd have to protect last year's case as well. Okay. Going forward, I don't have any hard figures on that yet from Larry or from Dan. So I don't know where we stand there. So even if the board reviews it and made a no change, that's immaterial once the resolutions come in. Correct?
Well, yes. If the board signs this, the law allows 4 years unchanged. We're a year behind now because it was filed last year. So I guess I don't know what the town's position is for 2020. If the board approves it, are you intending on knocking it up for 2020 from the 650 to this full 1.3 that was put on the assessment roll?
Wasn't there a new value assigned to it for 2020?
I
think it remained the same. Yes, it remained the same.
It remained the same as last year, right?
Correct. And I had to do that because I don't have anything that's been signed by a judge, or I don't have a resolution. I had no choice but to go with the same value.
I think we're saying the same thing. I had to go and do what I did with the tax, and you have your box in the same. So.
Yeah.
So, okay. So
I guess the legal question that I have is, I'm just saying, if the Board of Review made no change on this for this year, once the town board passes the resolution and the judge, he signs it and that becomes an order for me to comply with, then it goes away. So basically, we're saying the same thing, correct?
I think so, yes.
Because I'm assuming there's going to be a separate resolution for 2020 as well.
I have the order, the proposed order in front of me, and it says it revises it to 650, and then it continues it on for 2020 and 2021 and 2022. Now, in those out years, when things change, you have the right to come back. But nothing has changed for
2020. It definitely changed. There's a dentist office in there.
Well, we're talking about 2019 taxable value.
Oh, 2019, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So last year was 20. Your taxable valuation date was 2018.
Correct.
Did last year and this year is 2019. So 2019, that property lost $60,000 because it had no income, and then only expenses and taxes. And then so now there's dentist office going in. They're still building it. I don't think the rent has commenced yet, and they've opened up. But you have those leases, and
Yeah,
that'll be a question
I
for.
sent them on to Dan the other
Right.
day.
That'll be a question for next year.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay, great. Thank you.
It was nice meeting you.
Likewise. Take care. Bye bye. All right.
Okay, well, I found it at the end.
Thanks for sending, Mike.
Yep, anytime. I think I have a future in this stuff. What do you think, Sue?
Up to you, man.
You know what I said the other day? In error.
What?
I'm not repeating it.
Oh, no.
Well, that's good because you're on live stream. So, okay.
That's
So,
right.
are we going to take our dinner, lunch, whatever you want to call it, break?
Sure.
All right. So,
And then what do we have coming up? Do we have more?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't think so. Oh, we do?
About people waiting?
Nope. There's nobody waiting.
What? The schedule doesn't show anybody else.
Nobody waiting.
Let me just see. Oh, that's why she's got no, because nobody else is going before the board. Okay. Makes sense.
The last time slot we had was the one that we just did.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
so
if you
then do we still
no.
So what's the plan?
You got commercials you have to read in.
Yes, and we have to read in the other portion
right.
of the residentials.
Okay. Well, that's just reading.
Right.
Though. There's no more
So we
people
just do
are
that
gonna
and call it a day instead of waiting. You're right.
Are we live?
We're live, but I checked, Sue. There is not one person watching.
Okay.
Oh man.
How do you know
that doesn't mean that they won't though?
Because Ellen said correct, there are no more appointments. Because I'm a host on the East Greenbush YouTube page, and I can look like the town board meetings going on right now. They have 60 people watching. We have 0.
Well, we're not that popular. Apparently.
Well, we're not that interesting either.
Yeah. Okay.
So
I'm just gonna read the rest of these then before we go, and then we'll be done, right?
That seems like
Yep.
correct.
Oh,
Okay.
can I ask you a question, Cassandra?
You sure can.
How am I going to get your signature stamped to you? Can your husband come to the town hall and ring the doorbell, and I can give it to him if I know when he's coming in?
I mean, he works Monday through Friday. But
so do I, dear. Doesn't he work for the town?
He certainly does. That's what I'm saying. He works about the same hours. So he could, but I can also run up there and ring the doorbell and do it. It doesn't matter.
Whatever.
Are you going to be there?
Let me know when you're going to come.
Okay, well, maybe I'll have him do it tomorrow then. Because I have to work all day and I won't be around again until Friday. So I might as well just grab it and have it on hand.
Okay.
Okay. But what am I stamping? Like, am I going to get all the files?
Don't you have to stamp? Well, you're going to have to stamp my corrections. I just didn't have time today.
Right.
To get my corrections into you. There isn't that many, but you still have to do it. The board has to, sign their names, that all the corrections were done. That's the same stuff we do every year.
Right. And now we need to have all this done by
ASAP.
Okay. Because I really feel like it's so much easier to go over these things when I have like tangible files in my hand and people around, and this just makes it a little bit more difficult. So I wasn't sure if we would be able to, with the whole reopening and things getting back to our new normal,
Well,
if we'd be able to get in there.
I don't think you're going to be able to do your deliberations here, from what I understand.
So we need more Zoom meetings.
Is Jack like real firm on that or what?
Why do you think I'm sitting here with a mask on?
I'm just saying that, I feel
Halloween.
like we have all these forms being taken, emailed out and taken out of the town hall. I feel like it's much more safer and if we can be at the town hall and all make those decisions together like that.
Still live.
Well, I would ask him, but I don't think it's going to be a favorable reply.
We can take this offline.
very strict
and talk
on it.
about
Yeah.
We can take this offline and talk about it.
Yeah.
All right, so let's can I just read these in then?
Yes.
Go
let's
ahead.
Read them. I
All
second that motion.
And Sue, I will email you a little later and tell you when Jay will stop by. If he just goes there at any time, he can ring the doorbell, or is there
Just ring the doorbell, and I think somebody from the town clerk goes out, and he can come in.
And then he can just
I don't know. He might have to wait for me to go out.
All right, that's fine. But he can just let him know he's there to pick up my stamp or whatever.
Right.
Okay. All right. I'll have him do that tomorrow then. Okay. So I'm going to read in the commercial since that's the one that I'm on. And let's see. What, are we laughing? What's fun? What
I never laugh.
Okay.
Me. It was
all right. So we have Janata LeCap and associate is PC for Quackenberry Realty LLC. Address is 569 through 573 3rd Ave Extension, tax map number 144.4-10. Assessed value appearing on the roll is $2,393,500. Property owner's assessment is $1 million. Herman
Trail, if you wanted just to note that down.
Herman Katz Jenny Wilkes and Klein LLP for Target Corporation T-1796, 612 3rd Avenue, tax map number 144.4-13.1. Assessed value appearing on the roll is $11,408,700. Property owner's estimate is $6,004,578. David C. Rowley, Esquire, Cooper, Irving, and Savage, LLP for North Greenbush Associates, LLC, 3rd Avenue Extension, vacant land. Tax map number 144. Howard and Cattell LLP for 1070 Luther Road LLC, 1070 Luther Road, tax map number 155.7-3.111. Assessed value appearing on the roll is $14,952,900. Property owner's estimate is $8,400,000. Goldman Attorneys PLLC for Empire Realty Investors, 1 through 16 Mill Creek Drive. Tax map number 155.9-13. Assessed value appearing on the roll, $205,000. Property owner's assessment, $125,000. Goldman Attorneys PLLC for Forest Point, 97 Rock Rose Drive, 155.18-8-12.1. Assessed value $202,000. Property owner's assessment $125,000. Goldman Attorneys PLLC for Forest Point, 99 Rock Rose Drive, 155.18-8-12.2. Assessed value $203,000. Property owner's assessment $125,000. Goldman Attorneys PLLC for Forest Point, 68 Rock Rose Drive, 155.18-8-18.1. Assessed value appearing on the roll is $212,000. Property owner's assessment $125,000. Goldman Attorneys PLLC for Forest Point, 70 Rock Rose Drive. Tax map number 155.18-8-18.2. Assessed value $212,000. Property owner's assessment $125,000. Goldman Attorneys PLLC for Forest Point, 1401 through 2508 Forest Point Drive, 155.18-8-22. Assessed value appearing on the roll is $14,690,900. Property owner's assessment is $8 million. Goldman Attorneys PLLC for Greenbush Associates, 31 Tech Valley Drive, 156.2-1.12. Assessed value appearing on the roll is $6,824,400. Property owner's assessment is $4 million. Goldman Attorneys PLLC for Greenbush Associates, 30 Tech Valley Drive, 156.2-1.112. Assessed value is $8,304,200. Property owner's assessment $2,500,000. David C. Rowley, Esquire, Cooper, Irving, and Savage, LLP for CP East Greenbush, 501 Columbia Turnpike, 166.3-3.111. Assessed value appearing on the roll is $9,904,500. Property owner's assessment is $4,500,000. David C. Rowley, Esquire, Cooper, Irving, and Savage, LLP for CP East Greenbush, 425 Columbia Turnpike, 166.3-3.113. Assessed value appearing on the roll is $744,000. Property owner's assessment is $400,000. Goldman Attorneys PLLC for Forest Point LLC, 11 Forest Drive, vacant commercial, 166.6-1-2. Assessed value appearing on the roll is $58,500. Property owner's assessment is $100. Goldman Attorneys PLLC for Forest Point, 9 Rock Rose Drive, 166.6-2-3.1. Assessed value appearing on the roll is $203,000. Property owner's estimate is $125,000. Goldman Attorneys PLLC for Forest Point, 11 Rock Rose Drive, 166.6-2-3.2. Assessed value appearing on the roll $204,000. Property owner's estimate $125,000. Goldman Attorneys PLLC for Forest Point, 101 through 508 Forest Point Drive. Tax map number 166.6-2-21.1. Assessed value appearing on the roll is $2,991,400. Property owner's assessment is $2,500,000. Goldman Attorneys PLLC for Forest Point, 601 through 1308 Forest Point Drive, 166.6-2-21.2. Assessed value appearing on the roll is $6,620,600. Property owner's assessment is $5,500,000. Goldman Attorneys PLLC for Horizon Ridge, 100 Horizon View Drive West, tax map number 178.5-1-1. Assessed value appearing on the roll is $18,646,400. Property owner's estimate is $14 million. Okay, commercials are done.
Okay, we have one more. It came in this afternoon at 3:40, so I hadn't had a chance to get it over to the board members yet. Do you want to? Okay. Do you want me to read that one in?
Yeah.
It's Susan Cernigliala, 10 Lakeview Avenue, tax map number 155.9-2-27. There's no total assessment, no opinion of market value. Page 2 is completely empty. What this is, it's to do with an agent exemption, and she has submitted all of her co-pays that was supposed to be in on May 13th. So she's just bringing them in for your consideration. I will see that these get scanned in and emailed to all of you tomorrow.
Okay. Now I can't get the residential list back up. It keeps telling me it's like failed to open.
You have the one with commercial, right?
I have it, yeah, and I did the tab and I went to the commercial. The one kept saying failed to load, and then I found another email with it in there and I got that one. It worked, but now I can't get back to residential.
That second one should have both of them.
Okay.
At least mine did.
Oh, did it? Okay. Sorry, guys.
We're here until 8 o'clock, so don't worry about it.
It just keeps telling me it's failed to open. I don't get it. Do I already have it open somewhere?
You might have it open. It's in the same tab.
Yeah, I know. That's why I don't understand. It keeps telling me failed to open every time I try to go into it because I closed it.
Yeah, I had problems with that earlier also.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yes. Yep.
So I don't.
Blank.
All right, here we go. I got it. Woo! Nice. All right. Now, where am I starting?
Todd and Noel, number 19.
Oh, Todd and Noel didn't show up?
They were a no.
Oh, they were a no. Okay, that's why. Okay. Todd and Noel Barisi Jones, 1 Cobbler's Lane, 144.3-2-20.2. Assessed value appearing on the roll $233,000. Property owner's estimate $220,000. Edward and Stephanie Pierce, 34 Malibu Hill. Tax map number 144.13-1-8.2. Assessed value appearing on the roll is $244,000. Property owner's assessment $230,000. John and Joanne Snyder, 2 Rosebud Court, 144.14-1-41. Assessed value is $307,000. Property owner's estimate $301,337. Catherine Dell for Esquire Properties of Troy, 1294 Red Mill Road, 155.2-27.1. Assessed value is $250,000. Property owner's estimate $235,000. Deborah Herringer, 248 Pinehurst Ave, 155.14-19-5. Assessed value on the roll $205,000. Property owner's assessment $190,000. Gloria Fonda for Sister Barbara Fonda, 3 Oak Street, 156.17-3-6. Assessed value is $119,000, and we don't have.
I believe that's another exemption.
Oh, okay. Dominic and Anita. How do I say that?
Grace.
46 Old Troy Road, 166.8-2-1.2. Assessed value $248,000. Property owner's estimate $170,550. Barrett LaGrave and Aubrey Copperwheat, 469 Miller Road, 167.-4-33.2. Assessed value is $440,000. Property owner's estimate $380,000. Casey and Thomas Salmieri, 2650 River Road, 177.-6-2.112. Assessed value is $333,000. Property owner's estimate $305,000. Tara Mitchell and Jacob O'Hanlon, 26 Vermont Ave, 155.90-10-1.13. Assessed value $299,000. Property owner's estimate $275,000. Okay, that's done. Now what?
Well, we can't shut down because we're advertised to 8 o'clock.
Oh my goodness.
That's the law. You have to sit 4 hours.
Well, I don't want to break the law. I'm just, oh my goodness.
No, I know you don't, but
yeah.
What are we going to do now, right?
I don't know.
Well, let's see.
We decide up the next meeting date? Get together?
Well, first of all, you have to tell me what you want to do. I did discuss having you get together again in the same format like you are tonight with Mike.
Right.
And he said yes, he could do it. So you're gonna have to let me know so I can tell him.
Yeah, we should definitely set that up with him, for sure.
I agree.
So I'm only working like part-time, so it's only normally Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturdays, so I can pretty much do every other day that I'm available.
Now, I have a question. If we're going to do this remotely, one of the things I thought was very helpful when we were all together was to have the file or the folder that said what the assessment was in the prior year versus what it is in the current year. But we don't necessarily have that information without having the whole folder, correct?
One sec, Barbara, because I kind of tuned out there for a second. Are we done with the meeting? Now we're just discussing our future plans? Have we read all of the records into existence? I can stop them.
You have to tell us when the second meeting of the Board of Review is going to take place, and then you have to say this is the end of the meeting.
Second.
So this is the. Go ahead.
So the second meeting, you mean like when we meet up to do deliberations?
No, the second meeting of the Board of Review is when you meet to make any corrections if necessary. Right. It's generally done in the month of October during.
October.
Before
I told
we.
Everybody I don't. Yeah, I can do like that week of the 13th, I believe.
Okay, before we physically end just the actual grievance day, is there anything we have to do, to swear,